is the Glass Cannon Network.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Gen Con Day 4.
Yes.
You don't have to shout. It's okay. Just go with however your voice feels.
It's so early, Joe.
I really heard
Oh my God.
Starting off strong. Welcome back, everybody, to the Glass Cannon booth at Gen Con 2023. As you can hear, my voice is shredded, but luckily, my good friend Sydney took care of me. Sydney, I'll take that tea, that hot tea.
Joe, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news.
What?
The good news is I'm so excited to play Gloomhaven. The bad news is I went to the coffee shop and they said the tea machine broke. And
Tea machine? What?
Yeah.
Joe's
Not a
gonna
joke.
roll.
Like the
What?
kettle.
Not a joke.
What?
I went in and said, could I have one hot tea, just a black tea? And they said, that's going to be about 10 minutes.
The tea machine. You just need fire and water.
We
That's
just
all
got
you
the
need.
machine up and running. And in my head, I wanted to go, the water? Is your water gone? But I just said, no problem.
She had
busy-
such
it's a
a
busy
terrible
day.
experience. She came back. She was looking like Martin Sheen at the end of Apocalypse Now. Just this haunted look on her face.
I sat down and Skid was like, are you okay?
Sydney handed Skid this and went, your latte? And I was like, what happened?
Yeah.
Here's your
With
Princess
Sydney
latte,
and
jerk.
Skid?
Here's your fucking latte.
Fucking latte.
Yeah.
All right, well, we are very excited to kick off the final day of Gen Con here at the booth. We got another day packed with amazing games. We're kicking it off today in a couple minutes. We're going to dig into character creation in the new, unreleased, very playtesty prototype version of the new Gloomhaven RPG,
Yeah,
which
baby.
is a very exciting thing to be a part of. So I can't wait to talk more about that. Later on today, we're going to play some Marvel Multiverse role-playing game. So excited to get back into that. It's not what you expect, I don't think, because it's not going to be like what we did at San Diego Comic-Con, anybody who managed to see that. So it's going to be different characters. It's going to be really fun. And then finishing off the day with more Pathfinder 2e as we return to our adventure in the Sky King's Tomb. So that's going to be a really fantastic day. Skid and I, and Sydney, I think, are going to be here for all three. So it's going to be
Yeah.
real family experience today.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, let's kick it off with
I guess
the
Josephine and I
Gloomhaven.
are just chapter.
Yeah, wow.
We're
You're-
part of the family.
You're
Yeah.
valued
We'll
guests.
just
Wow.
leave, I
Valued
guess.
guests.
Valued
Yeah.
guest.
You guys are like my cousins that I see once a year at
Yeah.
holidays.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah. I
Merry
also
Christmas.
did not get tea this morning, and I don't know if it's just discrimination against Joes.
Joe's, yeah. There's an anti-Joe thing happening on this floor that I don't like.
Weird energy. Weird
Ugly,
energy.
an ugly trend.
An ugly trend in gaming.
I personally don't let anyone named Joe at my table.
That's
But
probably
this
pretty
isn't
smart.
my table, so
Right.
we're okay.
Yeah,
You're
you're
just
a separate table.
You're just a valued guest.
Thank you, exactly. Exactly. Highly valued.
Seriously, I want to thank Skid, Josephine, Paula Deming, and Sydney for coming with me today to play the Gloomhaven role-playing game. This is sponsored by our friends at Cephalofair, who helped us build this booth. Without them, this does not happen. And this sponsorship is going to go start at Gen Con and continue after Gen Con, because what we're doing today is creating characters in the Gloomhaven role-playing game. Then we're going to play these characters in a one-shot later. I don't know if it's going to be in a month or two. Right after this, we have to
Next
schedule a
Gen
time
Con.
to get together, and we're going to play a one-shot together from our homes with these characters. So I'm really excited to
Oh,
jump
sweet.
in today.
Oh, I didn't know we
Awesome.
were...
Yeah, me neither.
Great.
Yeah, that was supposed to be communicated to you by
knew.
Michael. Michael!
I want to say I knew. So I'm the good student.
Yeah.
I
You did
knew,
actually
I
know?
Okay,
planned. Yes, I
Paula's
did actually
prepared, everybody. Paula's
Perfect
extremely
Paula
prepared.
strikes again.
Can I get an A now?
That's what they always call her in school.
Perfect Paula.
Perfect Paula.
They said it in that tone too for some reason.
Perfect
Insult?
Paula.
As I said before, this is a very, very early version of the game, which is awesome. So I went to the booth The Cephalofair booth, I can see the sign right there. It is, they're our neighbor. They're in our neighborhood, so to speak, in this giant, giant floor. They're just a couple booths down. So yesterday, I went over to the booth, and I got a demo of the role-playing game, and it was a blast. And we didn't do character creation. Obviously, they gave us pre-gens, and we played a little scenario, and I really loved how it all flowed, especially coming from my knowledge of the board game. But today, I'm going to be discussing some of the things that were done in that demo and translating this all to Sydney especially, who has never played Gloomhaven, right, at all.
I've never played Gloomhaven. I haven't played the board game. I'm very excited. I've known of it. I've wanted to play, and I'm super pumped because I get to kind of come in for the RPG, which is my favorite part of role-playing. I just love role-playing, so I'm excited.
Yeah. So, and the rest of you have some degree of experience with Gloomhaven.
Jojo here has run a game.
I ran the RPG a few weeks ago. What is time?
Yeah, a couple weeks, I think.
But
it's been.
I've never played the board game, so I was also coming in fresh. The RPG's great.
Awesome. I'm going to have Josephine do a lot of talking.
Oh, God.
Let me kick it to Joe for explaining attributes and skills. And then Sydney will get me a tea.
Not going to happen.
40 minutes later, I
40
come
minutes
back.
later.
I'm not going to speak until I get tea.
Paula, you and I played during an Extra Life Marathon. We played a little
Yes.
bit. You popped in and played a
Yes.
vicious Inox brute. And we had some fun. Have
Yeah.
you played more beyond that?
Yes, I've played some more digital Gloomhaven. I actually got to play some second edition Gloomhaven with Isaac Childress. You know, the designer.
Name drop.
Perfect Paula gets to play with everybody.
Perfect.
I've played
Everyone
some
loves
Frosthaven, which was very fun, and I've played Buttons and Bugs. I played the new solo version of Gloomhaven. The
What?
small solo. Oh, it's great, y'all. You should.
Buttons and Bugs?
It's
That
called
sounds
Buttons
so
and Bugs.
cute.
It's like the smaller version of Gloomhaven. It's solo only. You can literally take it on an airplane and play it on your tray.
Ooh.
If you had ever heard of, during the pandemic, there was a print and play that someone made called Gloomholden. And it's based on that. They ended up liking it so much that they reached out and were like, we want to actually develop and for real publish this.
Oh,
and so they worked on it together, and it's now they're releasing it, and I really liked it.
Awesome.
Dang.
Yeah, solo
Great.
Gloomhaven with out all the work of Gloomhaven. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wait, so have you played every single iteration of this game?
I think I have not played Jaws of the Lion.
Have you played the RPG?
I have not played the RPG, so
Okay.
I am just like all of you,
Fresh.
fresh
on
and
this.
new and normal. I'm just a normal person.
Oh, yeah.
I put my shoes
I like to
on
think of
one foot
myself
at a
as-
time today.
Stars.
Just as normal as all of you.
Stars, they're just like us.
I know how you all think of me. You all look up to me so much, but I assure you, I'm
Right.
just a
I
normal
also
person
did
like
not
all of
have
you.
tea this morning.
Sydney got exactly 0 tea for anybody. All right, so talking about the Gloomhaven role-playing game. It is an evolution of the board game, and for those of you that enjoy the board game, you're going to find it is a lot of the board game has been ported into the RPG, which is a really bold choice. It's an interesting idea. I've never played an RPG like it. It's going to be an RPG with a lot of interesting, deep, tactical play that is very tactile in the same way as the board game. So you'll see things like stamina decks and modifier decks and stuff like that in the RPG. And they're developing the rules right now for a game that just finished its backer kit campaign. So it was hugely successful, BT dubs. And they blew past their goals and everything. And I think we're about 18 months away from the game actually being out. So we're really early on this. The demo I did yesterday, I was peppering the poor guy with questions because I knew I was running this demo the next day. And there were a decent amount of answers that were like, we don't know yet. We're still working on that. This rule may go this way or this way. So it's kind of fun to be in this early on something where we can actually just play around with it, see what we like, see what we don't, and sort of use the kind of rules that we want and play test it our own way. So
It's kind of cool too because when we were playing Gloomhaven, the board game, for a little bit in our old offices.
Yeah.
and we were basically role playing it then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
Nice.
we can't play a board game without role playing it.
Yes.
So this is going to be fun to actually like play the role
Actually
playing
role play.
version.
Well,
yeah.
my understanding is that was a big impetus for Isaac Childress designing Gloomhaven to begin with, is wanting to be able to play like an RPG, but for that group that no one wanted to be the GM. And so that was
Yeah.
kind of the idea of
Gloomhaven.
creating Gloomhaven.
I mean, that's
and
really-
so like
that's-
it lends itself to that, and now
Yeah.
it's cool, to see that then morph into an actual,
actual
role-playing
role-playing
game. It is cool,
That is cool.
Okay, I am going to start off here with some real basics. Those of you that don't know Gloomhaven, have never played it, this is for you, and I'm excited. Sydney's here and hasn't played before, so I'd like to talk about some real basics of this game that make it so different from every other game, and the primary reason that it has been the #1 game on Board Game Geek for 4 years or something. It is such an incredible game design that is unlike anything I've ever played, and a lot of it centers around the use of cards that you play to initiate your character's actions in each round. Each round, when you get a turn, you choose 2 cards from your deck of usually somewhere between 9 to 14 cards is your total deck, depending on what ancestry and class you use. Every card is split. There's a top half and a bottom half. The top halves and bottom halves they vary wildly between classes and ancestries, as you'll see in the RPG. And what you do is you select 2 cards, and you must do the top of one card and the bottom of another card in that round. The interesting thing is you don't have to pick which bottom and which top at the time you choose the 2 cards. Once it comes to your turn, you can stick with your original plan, or if the situation has changed because of something Skid's character did or Josephine's character did, you can pivot and use the bottom of the other card and the top of the other card. It's an interesting mechanic that lends itself to both interesting tactical choices, but also you can get yourself in a jam because you choose this limiting factor, and then when it comes to you, the situation has wildly changed, and now you are a bit screwed. And that is a fun mechanic because it makes the game unforgiving. And there are times when you simply, your round gets all out of whack because of what I think it emulates really well, the chaos of battle. You don't always have the right solution in every second for the situation that you're in. So, Sydney, when you make a character today, you're going to get a deck of cards. And similar to a deck builder kind of game, you're going to pick which cards are going to be in your deck. Are you laughing at my voice?
Yeah, your voice. My God, Joe.
Poor Joe.
I've never heard
God,
you like
if only
this.
someone could get him a tea.
Yeah, man.
I just, God.
It's hilarious, Sydney. It's hilarious.
Is there a way to kill your character in character creation in
Yeah.
Gloomhaven? Because
Is
Joe's
this Traveler?
gonna
We
do
do like
it.
Traveler?
Yeah.
I'm sure we can find a way. Sydney, is this sinking in so far?
Yeah.
Top
And
of a card and bottom of a card. Also,
Are you
see,
listening?
I just want to say that my voice has been like this before. It is usually like this after a long, multi-show weekend and stuff like that. And it was definitely like this on Gen Con Day 4 last
Oh, yeah,
year.
yeah.
all we do is
You
talk.
can't.
We
Yeah.
just talk.
I know, we talk
for
nonstop.
4 days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's all night too. So it was 2 live shows at night,
Right.
Followed
Yeah,
by,
yeah.
and the first one, has the VIP after party. So you're talking
Right.
all through that, and then
That's where the voice really gets shot because
Yeah.
you're shouting to be heard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
that's
over the music and everything.
Yeah.
And then last night we just hung out, had a great time. But again, you're just talking all night to industry people and hanging out.
Yep.
Just
These
blah,
places
blah,
are
blah, blah,
so loud.
Yeah.
I know.
They got to turn this music down.
Yeah.
I'm old.
So in the middle of this card, you'll see a number, a large-ish number there, Sid. You see
Yeah,
that?
I see
That-
7529.
That is your initiative.
Oh.
So when you choose your power, you're also choosing your initiative for the round. So sometimes you might prioritize initiative. You might say, I want to go earlier, even though it's an ability I don't really want to use that bad. Or you can say, I want to go later in this particular round because it's like delaying, right? Where you're like, I want enemies to come to me first, so I'm going to choose tactically to go later. And then you can pick. There's 2 numbers. You pick which one is your initiative in that round. So that is one of the basic mechanics of how your powers work in your deck. When you actually attack, all you see on these cards are damage numbers. You'll see a little sword here and a 4. It's like, you like that sound effect?
Yeah.
And that- so that means-
Wait,
You know what?
that was your sword sound effect?
Actually, if you
it
look,
was.
if you look back at it, because it's got that little like explosion-y kind of symbol around the sword, it does, that symbol makes that sound.
That
That
sounded
was
more like
really
a
good,
mace.
Joe.
That sounded more like a mace to me.
Thank
Or
you.
a morning star.
Skid, you know, I know you you're the expert here.
I
And you want to
mean,
nitpick all the sounds.
I know my
but-
weapon sounds.
This is why everyone loves Paula.
Oh, wow. All right, so Sid. So there is no 2-hit roll in Gloomhaven.
Okay.
You simply do damage. This is the
Depending on
damage.
initiative, though. So you.
Yeah, it depends on initiative, where you're able to strike or whatever. And there's melee attacks and there's ranged attacks, and a range attack on the card will tell you its range limit. So different powers have different ranges. When you attack, you just do an amount of damage, but then you draw from, drumroll please, the modifier deck, one of the most central concepts of Gloomhaven, which is a 20-card deck, I believe. A 20-card deck similar to a 20-sided die.
This is the
But-
randomization element of the game.
Right. This is the randomization element, and what you will do is you will draw off the top a card that will modify your damage.
So that's a dope card because there's nothing added.
Right.
Cool.
It's not a bad card. It's
Right.
right down the middle, nice average.
because you could have negative. I see.
Yeah,
what you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you
So,
can.
yeah, you could have -1s
Yeah.
are in there.
Okay.
So if you have an attack that does 1 damage to 5 enemies, you're like, oh, that's real fun. -1 does 0, so it's almost like a miss, right?
Okay.
Then, of course, you got to have the old fumboni.
Oh.
So there is a fumble in every deck. One of my favorite mechanics is the second you pull that fumble,
Monsters will rumble, the dice they will tumble, fan
we love you, Nick Lowe.
Okay.
Like Josephine and I are like,
Yeah,
cool,
we get it.
We get all the
we
things.
got
we get
that.
It. We get it.
We were in
We
on
get
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a cult. Every time it comes on, I don't just sing along because I have to.
The dice I will rumble. Yeah.
Cool.
There are
okay.
+1s in the deck as well. You can even get a boost to your damage.
Is there a crit?
bam?
Crits.
2 times. There is a crit. and there
Crits
is-
happen.
There is 1 +2 in your deck to start, and 1 -2 in your deck to start. When you draw a crit or a fumble, you'll see that they have a little symbol in the lower left, a little rotational symbol. That means you now have to reshuffle your deck. Every time you fumble, the fumble goes back in the deck. So you never know that a fumble's not going to come. So that's
And that's why I spend most of my time just reshuffling my deck.
it's just a fumble,
Because I just
reshuffle,
pull
fumble,
it,
reshuffle.
pull it
Fumble.
every time.
Same thing with a crit. If you crit, you reshuffle the deck. So that is one of the central mechanics. Now, this is awesome. Advancement in the game is so much fun, and unlike any other game that I've played, and they ported it over to the RPG. So when you level up in this game, as opposed to getting boosts to your abilities, you to start, I should say, you get additional cards. So you expand the what you have access to build your deck. So you get new powers. You unlock new powers, which is really fun. And then over time, you can manipulate your modifier deck. So you can
You can like drop cards out.
Yes,
right?
you can take away -1s and
Ooh.
replace them with +1s. You can take away the -2, and
Ooh,
you
yeah.
can take away 4 +0s, and so like your deck just starts to become more wildly like
Yeah.
good or bad and not right down the middle. There's like all kinds of different ways you can formulate your modifier deck as you advance, which is a really really fun mechanic that is crossing over into the RPG as well. And I think that summarizes, I think, the basic mechanics of the board game, right? You would say?
Yeah. Well, I mean, did you mention? Sorry if I missed it, but like the deck also is your stamina.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's you know what.
Oh, so the bigger the deck, the more you have?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
that's one way of putting it. Sure.
Was that a dumb question?
No.
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 Oh,
We're
I'm sorry. I've never
No.
played this
No.
game. You
No,
said
it's
the deck
not
is
that.
your
It's
stamina.
not.
It's
The
not.
bones are their
No.
money.
We were just.
Sydney.
we
So
were
are
just,
the worms. They
We're-
pull your hair up but not
Up
out.
but not out.
We're children, Sydney.
All right. So the
mere
bigger your
children.
deck,
The bigger your
the more
deck,
stamina
the better.
you have.
The
I
longer,
get it.
The longer you can
I get
go.
it now. I didn't know because I'm innocent and I'm sitting next to perfect Paula.
Right. I know. She's. Yeah.
I didn't get it at all.
So the longer and harder
Yeah.
you can go.
No,
Exactly.
but it's
Yeah.
basically like your
The more
stamina
like
for the
thrust
day.
you
Like
have.
Well, yeah. So in the board game,
You dummies. Didn't know Gloomhaven was so sexy. Go on.
Cephalofair's like, cool, good.
Yeah, Joe's like, please stop talking.
I love it. Every minute I don't have to talk. So thank you so much, Josephine. That is a very key mechanic of the game. And we'll get to it in the role-playing game in a second. But in the board game, your deck slowly over time gets whittled down. So the way that it works is you're choosing 2 cards, and then you discard them. The next 2 cards, then you discard them. Eventually, in only a matter of 4 rounds or so, 5 or 6 rounds, you will definitely be out of cards. At that point, you have to rest. Resting is you get your cards back, but you always have to lose a card for the rest of the game. So then the next time you rest, you lose another card. And then some of your cards, called burn cards, at least in the board game, are so powerful that they have a little symbol in the bottom right with an X. That means when you use that ability, 4 damage to 2 different people. This is the avalanche from the Cragheart. It's sort of like, if to use 4E parlance, like a daily power.
Yeah.
So it's like you use it and you burn the card. It goes out of the game entirely. So it is a very powerful choice to make. However, it also shortens the amount of time you will last in this scenario.
So when you like rest, when you have like an overnight rest, then you just restore your whole deck. Is that what it is?
yeah, the
for
full,
Yeah, so then
the full rest.
So then the way it ports is, so that's the board game. The scenarios are pretty much all like, you know where all the enemies are, you know where all the objectives are, you set it all up, and then you play the challenge and see if you can beat it. That's the board game. The RPG, I was shocked at this when I started reading. I was like, the deck is still your stamina, and it basically represents a day.
Right.
So
right.
your deck, as soon as you are out of cards, like you basically, you can't function at a high level for the remainder of the day.
Yeah.
And we'll get into this more as we play the actual game, but the way it manifests is, and this is an important mechanic that I didn't mention, you can always use the top of your card to just a basic melee attack for 2 damage, no matter what.
Okay, that's
And
was
you
my
can-
question.
Yeah,
Because like
they're
in the board
basics.
game, you just like you're gone. You have to leave the dungeon. Like
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah, you just fade away.
Yeah.
So at the bottom of the
Yeah.
well, I say that because I played the digital version so much.
Yeah. It's just like your character just
Fade
fades,
away.
literally
And you
fades
fade
out.
off screen.
Yeah.
The bottom of the card can always be a basic move action, 2 hexes, basic move, no other special. So that that's why, like, if you choose something and then it comes to you and you no longer want to do that thing, and you're like, crap, I don't want to waste this ability because the enemies aren't next to each other anymore. All right, I'll just use it for a basic 2 attack, and it doesn't burn the card, and you can keep it in your deck and everything like that. In the RPG, you can continue on through the day, and you can do basic attacks and basic moves. You just have no special powers, and your skills that operate outside of combat, your non-combat tests, you can't do. So it's you can only do passive checks, which is just like the simplest of things. So it represents you being utterly exhausted.
Yeah.
How does like stuff like non-combat mechanics work?
Yeah,
Because
we'll
there's
get into
none of
that.
that. Okay.
Yeah, we'll get into that, and it's awesome. I'll say, you know what? Let's just summarize it real quick. I think it's great because I want you guys to think about this as you're making characters. Like, these choices are important, and you'll see why. Your skill choices are important. Your background choices are important. This did not exist in the board game, and I forget the third thing I was going to say that's important, but it all adds up together. So when you're choosing ancestry and class, these are very important choices for you, as well as the cards you pick. So you should know how the mechanics work, both in combat and out of combat. So when I say passive check, that means like a basic perception. You're not looking for something, but something dangerous is coming. Let me just see if you see it, or something like that. You will do a test against with your skill. So your skill, there's 5 skills. I don't know them off the top of my head, but it's like focus, knowledge. I forget the other 3 at the moment.
Jojo knows them.
No, I'd have to find. I don't know them off the top of my head, but I'm sure.
Yeah, there's 5. We'll get to them in a second. But
Yeah.
I mean, I have a character sheet right here. It's focus, knowledge, influence, athletics, and
There we go.
finesse. So they summarize that all down to 3 skills. You will start the game with those ratings between 0 and 3. You will distribute your points how you want to. We'll talk about that. They will either have a rating of 0, 1, 2, or 3. You will then pull from the modifier deck, and not in combat, you will use that yellow number.
Oh, I was wondering what that
That's
was
in the
when you were
hex.
showing those.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That yellow number that's in the hex. 6 is the highest. That's a good pull.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
good,
So
good,
I
good.
think it's the highest. So that would give you, if you had a 2 in the skill, your resulting check would be 8.
Yeah.
The game essentially has skill test, DCs, right? DCs
Yeah.
range from about 3 to about 14. The average
Oh.
being about 6 to 8.
14.
14.
Yeah, for stuff
I only
that's
have a 3 at the thing I'm best at.
for stuff that's basically impossible.
Okay.
And so for our game, most likely you'll see most checks are around 6. The DC
Okay.
will be around 6. So you'll need to pull a +3 if you have a 3 in that to hit the skill or the skill check. So that's how it works in non-combat. That's a passive check. Active check, all of the same mechanics, except you have to discard a card from your hand. Not burn it for the day, but just discard it into your discard pile, as it represents stamina. It represents using your energy to do this check. That is an active check, and it will, over time, those will pile into a discard pile that you then have to reshuffle, and you have to then burn one of those cards. And so over the day, it'll slowly get whittled away. So the more non-combat active checks you have before a combat, you could likely go into a combat with less cards, less stamina, because you're
wow.
So
tired.
you don't need to do like you don't need to like fight some gnolls, for example, to wear people down before you take them in to
Yeah,
actually
you
meet
could
Strahd,
just-
for example.
Right.
Yeah, you could just get
If
worn
you just
down.
are
yeah.
like, hey, you did some investigating and some lying. Well, now it's time
No
to fight
wonder
a
you're
dragon.
tired. Look at you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took a lot of mental energy. Exactly.
And
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that is cool.
So at first I was like, I don't understand this. It doesn't make any sense to me, because the board game, generally scenarios feel, fast and intense, and
Yeah.
you burn your cards and you're out, and it feels like in game time it was probably like 5 minutes of like fighting, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and then you're done and you're spent.
It's like an alpha strike. It's just like a breach and clear. You're just going into this place and boom, 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 and just like exhausting yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so with the RPG, it's like how do you do that for a whole day? Like
Yeah.
and it's interesting in the demo there was a lot of exploration and stuff, which was really cool, and I could see how it would slowly get whittled away
Yeah.
over hours of time passing. It was really, really fun. But then, I had my cards for the combat. Oh,
I
my
got you
goodness.
something.
Oh my goodness.
Gracious.
I felt so bad.
Sydney, thank you so
How
much.
did you
I
get
didn't even
that?
see you get up.
That's
Yeah.
why they haven't cut to this side of the camera in a little while. It's because Sydney had to run and get tea.
I
How?
had McDermott ran out and got it because he's so nice.
Oh, McD.
Where did that tea come from?
Yeah.
Good buddy.
It was
Thank
it
you
was
so
a group
much.
effort.
Where's McD? Oh,
Thanks,
there it
McD.
Right there.
Joe
Thanks,
needs
buddy.
that. Thank you.
is. Nice buddy.
Wow.
He's dying.
Wow, I get it. I see.
Oh shit!
I see,
McD,
okay.
Emergency.
All right.
Josephine needs a tea.
I see there's only one Joe here.
There's a tea for you, Juice.
No.
Absolutely.
No. What, are you kidding? Have
I
you heard
will
your-
not have a
listen to
tea
your-
over here because
What?
I will destroy a prototype. I will spill this and it will hit these cards.
After all
not-
that.
After all
That can't be true.
Thank you.
I have tea bags in
Look
my
at
bag.
McD's
It's not
face.
helpful, but
Yeah. McD, you seem really juiced about going and getting another tea.
The most disapproving is like, really?
He knows how hard it is to get a tea in this town. It's fucking impossible.
Joe, can I add something just in case it's the language on the cards? So like discarding is you discard, you can get those back with short breaths, but the language if it's gone for the day until you take a full rest
like a
is
burnt-
like
a burnt
lose.
card?
It's lose. You lost.
Oh,
the
I
card.
keep saying burn and I'm sorry. That's
Oh,
incorrect.
it's-
Wait. So say it again. Say that again.
So you can discard a card?
Yep.
Or
You-
you can lose a card.
Ah.
Like capital L, lose a card.
Oh,
that
they-
means
Yeah.
it's done for the day.
Oh,
Yeah.
they don't call it burn.
No.
I don't think they call it burning.
So when
No,
you
no.
so to clarify, when you lose a card, like your special ability or whatever,
Yeah.
Or on the bus.
or on the bus.
I
when you-
had it.
Damn it! Fuck! I left it on the bus.
Damn, I knew it.
When you do that, do you get it back
On
after a long?
A full
Yeah.
rest.
A full
8
rest.
hours.
Eight
Yeah,
hours.
4
Okay.
hours.
That makes sense. So it is like a single day use.
It's like a daily
spell
ability.
or
Yeah.
ability.
But also these to catch a breath, you can do that at the end of each combat round. Like that's
oh, so it's like a
something you can do
10-minute
that all the
rest, a short rest.
time. You do it in combat, like at the end of
Oh.
a round.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But
Cool.
Yes.
in order to do
You
it,
can keep
you
that.
have
Take a breath.
in order to do it, you have to lose a random card.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And it
Oh.
might be the one special ability you wanted
You
to
really
get.
want it.
So it
yeah.
can be, like I said, it is unforgiving, and it's why I love it. Okay, I think that focuses on most of the main mechanics of gameplay, and it's good. It's important that you know how this is going to shake out as you begin to choose
Yeah.
who you're going to play. So choose. You know what? It's a little too quiet for my taste. I'm going to just put a little
Ooh, yeah.
background music in here while we
Set the mood.
start
Yeah.
creating a fantasy
You have a
together.
little jazz.
Yeah. I have an idea
A
for.
little
That,
jazz.
that
So I
would be
might wanna
nice,
be-
actually.
We all have very low
yeah.
voices this morning.
Hi everyone, welcome to Joe and Joe's Jazz Hour.
Joe and Joe.
Joe and Joe. Along for the ride, we've got Paula Deming and Skid Maher. Please enjoy.
Joining me also, Sydney Amanuel.
We all sound so sexy. Ooh, yeah.
Dude, that sounds
yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
I feel like we're on a speakeasy.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
actually.
Not the
wait,
jazz
what
I
is
was
this?
You don't
thinking,
you don't
but-
like it? You don't like a little noise in your
There's like static or
Yeah.
something. I don't
No,
know.
Yeah.
no, that's
part of the
Joe.
thing.
That's what a
part of-
record.
I understand. I think it's not that, but let's double check. You might be right.
I think it was.
That's what it
That's how it's
sounds
supposed to
like.
sound.
I think it's absolutely that.
It is that. You're right.
We know. We know.
It sounded louder to me than usual.
Where's that trumpet? I need,
You need your
trumpet back.
trumpet.
Why did
Paula
I
needs
bring
a
it back?
This is Gloomhaven music.
This really sets the.
This sets
I do
the-
kind of, honestly, I do really like this
I
music.
love it.
Yeah.
Does it really bother you, Joe? Look at. Is this bothering you?
No, I thought something was wrong with the audio.
no.
You guys are right. We're good. But yeah, I can't do this. I simply can't create characters to this music.
So you
I
meet
feel
in a
like
speakeasy.
it's so relaxing.
Oh yeah.
It is. It's
All
nice.
right.
We can't get too relaxed though, or
Yeah.
I'll slip into a coma if I relax even.
I might fall asleep. You're gonna
Totally
be like,
agree.
and so what background do you
Ooh.
want? And I'm gonna be like,
Ooh, I like this.
oh,
Yeah. All right. Well, let's set a disquieting tone as we
There we go.
talk about our situation. Okay. I'm going to throw this out there. Let's just start. I want you guys to start thinking about not only what you may want to play from an ancestry and class standpoint, but also let's start thinking about our one shot.
Yeah.
So I think I'll say two things up top. One is you are all going to meet in a dungeon.
Oh.
Okay.
And
Okay.
not in the sense of like you're mid-adventure, in the sense of like you're all prisoners in a dungeon.
Oh, no.
oh no.
This is going to be a massive dungeon, a large place that almost could be, considered like a prison,
Ooh, so we're like
a gaol or whatever, a goal,
dangerous criminals.
Jail.
I
I think it's just pronounced jail.
GAOL.
I
I think it's just jail.
jail, right?
But
Gowl.
spelled
It's spelled.
differently because it's like Irish
Matt's
or
nodding.
something.
Do you know
Jail.
this for sure?
It's
Jail.
pronounced
Pronounced
jail.
jail.
Yeah, because it's GAOLER. It's jailer, right?
Wow.
What are you
thought-
guys talking about?
The word.
You've never seen the word GAOL?
It appeared a lot in like old advanced Dungeons and Dragons
Yeah.
and stuff. It'd be in like
When
the
you
DM's
search
guide.
GAOL, Google just corrects it to jail,
There you go.
which is so weird that it doesn't
go.
even tell you the
But-
old. All right, anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
You've made this scenario, right?
Oh.
So you're choosing to spell it that way?
And I say you can choose to pronounce it however you want.
I like it.
That's true.
Gowl it is.
Gowl.
So you guys
We are
are
stuck in a
in this
gowl.
gowl, and
Gal
you,
Gadot.
Gowl, Godot.
Gadot. The Gadot Gal.
The Godot gal.
you could have come to be in this place because you are a criminal. That is a very likely reason that you're in this place.
Hell yeah.
You could also be in this place because you are a political enemy of powerful people in this region. This region is far to the south in the world of Gloomhaven, which I will not go into today. It's not really that relevant. But
Is this on the map? Is this someplace that is represented on the map of the original board game?
I don't think so.
It's south of that?
It's. I'm not sure. I'm not 100%. The game world.
Why
is-
don't you know?
Yeah, it's very mysterious and vague because you unlock the game world as you play the board game.
Yeah.
And I've never gotten far enough to like explore all the regions.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is very like vague to me, but I do know based on the lore in the playtest document that we have, that there is something called the Red Desert to the south, and that there was once a great war between, I believe, the Valwraiths and the humans. There is now a peace accord there now. The Valwraiths are sort of the humanoid creatures with, I believe, horns on their head, and I think they have a tiefling-ish vibe.
Yeah, they got tails.
Yeah, they have tails. So in this region, you are trapped in a dungeon that is mostly run by humans. There are mostly humans that are
Humans are the worst.
Yeah,
I know.
Mostly humans that are the guard. You know, the warden is a human. You know, most of the guards are humans, with the exceptions of course, a few Inox that they employ. Inox are very large, powerful, almost, I think of them as like druidic type creatures that are, I think they're from like the Great Hollow or something like that.
They're sort of like, what is it, Goliaths from D&D?
I'm not sure.
Like
I don't know about Goliaths.
There's a species
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
They're large lads, yeah.
Yeah.
Large
it's like-
lads.
They're large lads.
Yeah, they're large lads. They're the large lads of the setting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second thing I'm going to tell you, the first thing was that you're in a dungeon. You can decide how you came to be there and how long you're there, though I ask you, because of the second thing, that you be there at least for some time. Because the second thing is you're all going to attempt to escape today.
We are.
Yeah.
Today's the
So
day.
how that is going to happen is also going to be mostly up to you. And I think that if we even delve into that at all today, which I don't think we will, it will be almost like Blades in the Dark style, where you just get like a score where you just sort of like give me a basic idea of a
Yeah.
premise, and we'll just start the attempt,
Yeah.
and then we'll
Cool.
kind of
Yeah.
go from there. Because I don't need your characters to actually hatch out the plan to escape. Because
It always goes so well when we do
yeah,
we do.
anyway.
All of
knowing
our
the
plans,
ins and
like,
outs of
really-
all of the guard schedules and all that, it's just it's unnecessary for us to jump in and have a good time. So think of that premise as you start to build this character.
Cool.
You are in prison. You could be a criminal. You could be innocent. But either way, you are going to attempt to escape today with these people. This is your group.
Character idea. Ooh, cool. I'm getting
Ooh.
excited. Okay.
I am too. I have a character idea
Oh.
as well.
Okay.
I do as well.
I'm guessing on what Sid is going to pick.
Okay,
I
all right.
have a guess.
Oh, interesting.
Wow. I can't
okay.
wait to see.
Okay.
If you're right.
She should win something from you if she's right. Like
Okay.
a tea.
Here, I'm going to write it down in this notebook. I don't have a pen.
You need one to play.
This half the table maybe isn't as perfect as we thought.
You Paul, I have nothing over
We have
here.
no pen.
You have nothing? Look at us.
You don't have a
Yeah,
pen?
look at our.
Look at us
I
over
keep
here.
thinking I have one in my bag. And guess
Oh,
what? For
wow.
some
Looks
reason
like
there isn't
Paula and
one.
I found a pen.
Oh,
that was
what?
fast.
Oh, man.
You can't erase? You
Fuck
don't have a
me.
pencil?
All right, I'm writing
Don't worry,
it down.
guys.
RPG.
As soon as McD gets back with the other tea, we'll send him to go buy Paula a pen.
I have a Sharpie.
We can share a pen. All
I have
right,
a Sharpie
I'm writing
and
it
I
down.
have a Word doc. I have a future pen.
Seriously, does nobody have a pen to give
We have a-
Paula?
we can find a pen.
No,
We can find a pen.
pens in my bag.
Oh, Paula. Paula.
I swear, there's
Oh,
gotta
we got
be
it.
one
If
in
McD
here.
does have a pen.
I'm just guessing on
he's the best.
I'm just
Awesome.
guessing on ancestry.
Oh, well, I also have a Sharpie.
But
I don't
I
want to
thi-
mess up your metallic Sharpie.
No,
I'll
don't use
my
a Sharpie because I'm giving you it'll bleed right through the paper.
Oh, it's a thing. It's a whole
Yeah.
thing.
You're going to get a character sheet today.
All right.
Copy.
All right.
Should I-
Copy,
So-
y'all, I'm on it.
Rules of the road for character creation to start. Humans, unfortunately, are not available as an ancestry, even though they are in the game. They're not available because I don't have the cards for them in this prototype. Also unavailable is... What
Me?
did I say?
Harrower.
Oh,
Harrower.
harrowers
Harrower.
and humans.
Which
Sorry.
is devastating for anyone
Yeah,
that
the
wanted to
harrowers are-
play an actual sentient swarm of insects
It is.
Yeah.
It
that forms
sounds.
itself into a humanoid shape.
It sounds so
That's-
fucking
It's
cool.
so
I will.
cool.
I will
Like
say.
Men in Black.
It's like Swarm in Spider-Man.
yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
That's
there's a whole
cool.
ancestry that's that, and I'm sure they have it. I happen to not have that prototype, so we can't do that. The other rule is everyone has to be a unique ancestry,
Okay.
and everyone has to be a unique class because I only have one set of cards for each. Actually, there are 2 decks but everybody should be different classes. But I only have one of each ancestry. So, how about we start with Sydney, because she's the noob.
Yeah.
Give her a chance to sort of pick anything she wants and start exploring this game first through only Ancestry. Just tell me Ancestry.
Okay, were you going to guess Ancestry?
Actually,
Yeah, are you?
JoJo is the one who should have written it down, not you.
Well, I could just guess it right now.
Yeah,
I guess.
do you want to tell me your guess?
Are you gonna go Vermling?
I was thinking about it, but then I switched to Quattrel.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
all right.
yeah,
Ooh,
okay.
that's what I want.
Still a
Still
little-
you went first, Sydney.
You got
I'm sorry.
drafted
I
out from under you.
I could still do Vermling.
I could switch. I can switch. I can come up with a different idea. You play what you want.
Do you want to do? Did you have your heart set? Because I was between Vermling and Quattrel. I just wanted a little guy.
And then I'll be right if Sid picks Vermling.
That's
Yeah,
right.
right,
And
and
then
then
she gets
Josephine-
her,
I don't
she'll
want
get
to
her
make
tea
you
finally.
change for
Well,
me.
let's look at Vermlings. First sentence: Vermlings get a bad rap, which I like because maybe I'm in jail for a reason unknown.
Yeah.
So they're basically like, it says their animal-like appearance and lack of societal structure. They're really
They are
They-
they are sort of like a rat folk-ish
Yeah.
like little rats.
type ancestry. But continue. Read it right from the
Wasn't
thing.
wasn't your character in the video game? Didn't you play a Vermling?
No, McD played the Vermling Mind Thief.
That's
So
right. That's
this
a
is
really
another thing I
cool
just want to
character in the
mention
board
really
game.
quick because I love geeking out over this stuff. The original game didn't separate ancestries and classes. The board game just had classes, and you could play a Cragheart or a Spellweaver or a Brute to start the game, and each one of those was a unique ancestry. That's just sort of how they made it. But so the Brute and the Inox as an ancestry were tied together as one. They were one thing. As you expanded in the game, there were some other ancestries that were, you would see an ancestry again, but it would be a different upgraded class, which is something fun that the board game did. But the RPG is the first time you can pick any ancestry and pair it with any class. So, a lot of people considered the Cragheart, for example, to just be the Savas. Like every Cragheart
yeah,
is a
I didn't
Savas.
even know that the name of the species.
Exactly.
It was
exactly.
just the Cragheart.
But
Yeah.
now you can mix and match in
Yeah.
all kinds of ways. So at my demo yesterday, I played a Quattrel Berserker.
Oh,
So
wow.
the Berserker
that's
was
cool.
an Inox in the original game.
Right.
The big,
Be a Quattrel if
scary,
you want to
strong
be a
guys.
Quattrel. Because the thing I was excited about was more about the
class?
than the ancestry. So I can pair that with anything. So if you want to be the Quattrel, you should be. Don't let me take that from you. That's not fair. You got to choose first.
Well, from my understanding, then the Quattrel is like very scientific, and are they like robots? They use like bionics or prosthetics.
Yes, they are. They're not robots. They are just smaller creatures that are.
Are they sort of like gnome analogs?
Yes, gnome
Yes,
okay.
meets gnome meets halfling meets
Yeah.
and strongly they are what's the word I'm looking for? They are inspired by the class that the original one was in the board game, which is the Tinkerer. So the original Tinkerer was a Quattrel. So
That
that's
makes
why
sense.
Okay, right.
a lot of the
right.
abilities have to do with crafting, building cool machines. You would have so there's a Quattrel if you want to point that toward the camera. So they make cool prosthetics and stuff for themselves to give them advantages in combat, and so you could be a Quattrel Berserker like I was, and while the Berserker stuff was mainly kind of barbarian-like abilities, I still got a Quattrel deck. So
cool.
I added cards into the Berserker deck that were from the Quattrel, so that gave me little techie things, but with a Berserker. So it was a really, really cool idea.
They also, every time I hear the name, it makes me think of Paul Quantrill. He used to pitch for the Royals.
Yes.
So that's fun.
So the Quattrel also, in the demo that I did, they had the pre-gen, and the art was wielding two axes, just like the original Berserker. But in the art for the pre-gen, it was a Quattrel with like two machine, like
chain swords?
No, they were like axes with like laser beams that were the
wow.
blades. So
Wow.
it just looked like so badass.
That's
so
really
cool.
cool.
So yeah, you can just whatever your mind can imagine, you
So
can
this
put
is
together.
more the Gloomhaven setting. It's more like, I guess, like steampunk or something than I realized. I didn't realize it was like that kind of tech level.
It has
like
a little bit more of that. The world is so unique. I mean, it is a little bit of medieval fantasy kind of, but then there are guns, I believe. I think,
there are.
I think there are. Yeah, well, and there's definitely cannons. I know there's cannons from the board game.
So like late medieval with some kind of
yeah.
Okay.
But it also there are layers of like Victorian-esque kind of stuff in Gloomhaven, which is actually the name of the biggest city in the world. That's where the name Gloomhaven comes from.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to it.
Okay.
Sydney has drafted Quattril, it sounds like.
Yeah, I would like to do Quattril if
Screwing
that's okay.
over
Please
Paula.
do it.
No.
No, honestly, okay, no. This is great. This is great.
Okay.
You should do it.
We have a Quattril. Next, Paula, what are you thinking for? Oh, let me give you your card.
Oh, yes.
So you can start to read these. These are 4 cards that may or may not be in the final build of your deck. You choose what cards go into your deck, but that's the 4 you can choose from. You could have all 4 in your deck. You could have none of the 4 in your deck.
What is the benefit of picking all 4 or not picking all 4? Like, why would you not?
You have a limited number of cards that you can
deck
have.
limit.
How many do you start with?
Depends on your class. So we'll come back to your class
All right,
in a
I'll
bit.
think about this.
Okay, Paula, what are you thinking?
Well, now I'm thinking maybe I would like to be the Vermling.
Okay.
Unless that takes it from anyone else who really wants it, because I can be other things.
2 little guys. I love it.
Yeah.
Joe, will
What?
you allow that?
What? Sorry, what?
Joe, would you like to?
She wants to be a
say-
Vermling. Is
Will
that
you
cool with
permit
Can
you?
I be the
Vermling.
Vermling?
Oh yeah, I'm not going to be a Vermling.
All right, perfect. That would be stupid.
Are you?
I don't want to be a stupid
Why would I want to be a
Vermlings,
Vermling?
Vermlings get a bad rap.
They get a bad rap.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. This side of the table, the little guys. All right, so Vermling. Let's go into Vermling just for a second. Vermling is, like we said, kind of a rat folk adjacent sort of creature.
The Skaven, yes.
Yeah, exactly. They get a bad rap. They are constantly shunned and feared by other people for their animal-like appearance and their lack of a societal structure. Vermling bands do operate on baser instincts, however, seeking food in whatever form they can get it, retaliating against any insult made against them, both real and perceived. It turns
I'm
into a
gonna
negative
perceive so
cycle
many
of
insults.
It's a negative cycle of perception becoming reality. Still, there are Vermlings that are working against that image for the greater good, or at least living apart for their own well-being. So there are many reasons you could be in this prison that have nothing to do with you being an actual criminal, or you
Right.
could be a criminal.
Or maybe I am.
Up to you.
Yeah, as we were talking about it, I decided that this idea of like perceiving a lot of insults and having a temper sounded fun.
Yeah. I love that. That's a
So-
cool trait.
That's great.
That's a very fun
yeah.
trait.
So
Your
that's what I
Vermling
thought.
cards,
Thank
Paula. Josephine.
Yeah, I'm going to go Valrath.
Valrath. All right, talk to
Valrath.
us about Valrath.
All right, so you mentioned most Valraths make their homes far to the south around the Red Desert. There was once a great war in that region between the Valraths and the humans, both equally interested in conquering the Stormbrew plains for themselves. The two nations have since made peace. The Valrath government has made concerted efforts to forsake its aggressive past. More recently, they focused on economic strength over physical aggression. I've got Demon Blood.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, you
Yeah.
do.
Demon-blooded. I didn't see the Valrath when I played, because I don't think the Valrath was like the quartermaster, I think, in the board game.
Oh, is it like an advanced?
Oh,
Yeah,
hello.
and
That's,
you didn't-
that's so, yeah, that's your character.
you didn't
they
unlock
look
it until later. Yeah, let's check that out.
Really cool.
They seem kind of like Arabian Nights kind of inspired, with
maybe.
the desert background and everything.
Yeah.
I
We're
mean,
gonna
I
sh-
just
we're gonna
think
show
they
it here in
look
a second.
really, really hot.
Yeah,
Did we show
look,
it?
That is so awesome.
Oh, it's too much glare.
Can't see it.
Oh,
Can't see it.
That is
It's
so
just on
cool.
It's-
Yeah. Well, describe it. I mean, it looks like
I'll
Yeah,
try. I'll
yeah.
try.
Fiery.
You got like
almost.
red, pale skin. You got like little horns, white hair, little forked tail.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna steal it for a character from the game that I ran.
Nice.
Oh, great.
Easy.
I got it. Oh, you've got it. Never
Got
mind.
it.
We're all trying to open it and look at it.
All right,
Nice.
guys. So look, we got it on screen. Full
Awesome.
screen.
There we go.
Yeah,
There
good
we
job,
go.
everyone.
It
Go
looks
Calm
team.
so
down,
cool.
everybody.
I
We have
believe that is I think that's a build where the Valwraith is the Sunkeeper, is
Yeah.
my guess.
I'm gonna go
That's what
Sunkeeper,
that-
but I'm totally.
Oh.
sorry,
you
sorry,
are.
sorry.
Whoa, whoa.
We're not there yet.
Now you can't choose Sunkeeper.
I hope
Sorry.
no one else wanted Sunkeeper.
So
That's the rule. If you
sorry.
mention it,
Wow.
you can't
Can't
do it.
Oh, that sucks.
What?
If you
That's
say
the
what your
rule.
wants
Oh.
and needs are,
If you mention it,
You don't get
can't
it.
do it.
Oh, bummer.
All right. let's talk to Skid about. Here's Valwraith for you, Josephine.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome. Skid, what do you got, pal?
I mean, was there ever any question that I would pick? I'm going to be the Inox.
Okay.
I'm going to be the Inox.
I knew it. Fantastic. So we've got this nice big brutish ancestry, though. You know, let me. Now that we've figured out this little trick, so I think the Inox is on the graphic that.
Yeah, you should.
Okay.
What's going
Some
on?
random company logo popped up instead of the character
Apparently,
art of Inox, so that was pretty funny.
So this is. I'll bring it up here in a second. This is the original art of the original Inox in the board.
Yeah, they're
Sorry.
like the cover
Wow, it's
cover
so
model
cool
for
looking.
the game.
Yeah, really cool,
Whoa.
badass.
Yeah.
3 horns,
Yeah.
and typically, that was the starting class that was called
The Brute.
the Brute. It has been renamed in the RPG,
Yeah.
the Bruiser.
Right.
It's now the
Ooh.
Bruiser, but it has the same cards basically from the game with some tweaks.
Yeah.
I think they've renamed it in the second edition of Gloomhaven as well.
They
It's the
have,
Bruiser
yeah.
now, yeah.
Do you want me to read the description?
Yes. Please tell us
Okay.
about Inox.
I'll do my best Jason Charles Miller impression.
Okay, great.
The Enox clans of the Great Grove struggled in the face of human expansion across the continent. Instead, they could not put aside their differences to face a common enemy and paid a heavy price. Most of their settlements were destroyed or scattered, leaving only those hidden deep in the forests. Those who fled joined human society, typically employing their large frames and massive strength to earn a living.
Jason, is that you?
Oh my God.
I could listen to both real Jason and fake
Wow.
Jason. Man,
Jason
there's
Charles
that-
Miller.
Jason. Fake Jason for the win.
that's like ASMR for me or something. I don't know, something about that. I really love
Fantastic.
All I needed was a solid 4 days of drinking and no sleep to be able to do that.
That was how awesome was that when him and Dragonbane with that.
That
voice.
was
Oh my
man,
gosh.
that he won the book.
He
with
did. He won the book with
voice.
that voice. All right, let's quickly show the Vermling. We got artwork now for the Vermling. This is what I would call an NPC or a monster from the board game, because this is it's a Vermling priest or Vermling caster. I can't remember, but this is the Vermling as a sorceress class. But as you said, you can be any class you want now. So, and then Quattro we wanted to show. So I'm going to bring that up in a second. But as I do, we'll go back to Sydney, the Quattro. What are you thinking for class?
Okay, so when I first knew I was playing Gloomhaven, I looked up as much as I could about it, and I was super drawn immediately to the Soothsinger. I just thought, and maybe it was because they have an image, and I'm pretty sure it is a Quattro Soothsinger. There is art of it somewhere, but it just looked so cute. It had this hat on, and it reminded me.
That's
of,
how I usually choose my characters classes.
How cute they are, yeah.
What a cute hat!
Oh.
I'll be a druid.
Honestly, I am judging a book by its cover immediately because I was like, "That's so cute. I want to be exactly that."
man. I mean,
It reminded me though of the video game Stray. If anybody's played it, so
Really?
it reminded me of like the robots in the future
yeah,
post-apocalyptic
yeah.
world. They're very humanoid. Some of them have like missing arms and stuff. And
Yeah.
there's one that plays guitar in the world, and it's a
Yes.
musician. And I saw that, and I was like, "Oh, what a sad, like kind of robotic." Person who plays music, and immediately I was like, oh, sad bard, just like a sad bard.
Sad bard, like
And-
Morrissey.
Like Morrissey.
Yeah.
I want to be Morrissey. I don't clip that. He's bad. He's a
No,
bad man.
He's a bad man. We don't like
I
him.
don't want to be him.
Morrissey.
And I also like the Soothsinger because they can be damage dealing, but I would go, I think for us, because of our group size, I would go with like a buff. I would
buffer.
be buffing.
Like Michael Buffer.
I don't know who that is.
Let's get ready to
Oh.
rumble!
Yeah, he's like a Soothsinger.
Great.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that, Joe.
Awesome. Great start. Did you read the one-line summary
let me read it.
at the bottom?
At the bottom.
The bottom of the class. Yeah.
Play a Soothsinger if you enjoy turning the tides of any situation with a good song. giving your allies a boost with an inspiring melody or weakening enemies with a draining dirge.
Yeah, so it sounds like the Bard.
Yeah.
It sounds
Yeah.
like the Bard in the group. So very, very cool. We'll come back to you. Oh, I have your cards.
More cards.
So this is just so exciting. So look at
Oh,
this
the
whole
song, the
deck
song.
of Soothsinger cards.
Oh, that's so cool.
And you will be... All right, so your hand limit... Actually, you know what? We got to get into this. We got to do the paperwork now.
Okay.
Because now we're really getting into it. I don't know if this is in alphabetical order. It looks like it might be, or maybe not. All right, I'm going to find the Soothsinger. But the, oh God, the classes are so cool in this game. There's a ton of them. All right, yeah, here we go. Soothsinger character sheet. Pass that on down.
Thank you.
You can start filling out your information, including your ancestry, your pronouns, your player name, character name whenever you're ready. And you know what? Why don't we start, before you fill that stuff out, let's put in pencil all of your skills at 1. There are 5 skills.
Okay.
Then you're going to boost, this is based on your Soothsinger, not your ancestry. You're going to boost your finesse by 2 and your influence by 1.
My finesse, I get a 2, and my influence, I get a 1.
Yep.
Everything else starts on a 0, or
Everything starts on a 1.
everything else starts on a 1?
Well, yeah, you get 1 in everything, then plus 2 to finesse.
Oh.
So it should be 3 finesse.
I see.
Okay. Then, and you should have 2 influence and then 1, 1, 1. Then, your max hit points are 6, and your maximum stamina is 11.
11.
So that is your card limit.
That's your card limit.
So you can pick up to a. Thank you, Skid. Oh my God, that looks amazing.
This is cool, right? We can.
Oh my God.
What is it?
It looks so real.
Wait, why?
I had a fake cigarette in my bag. I don't know why.
Just
Is it
for
from
fun?
Is it from Get in the Trunk?
Yeah, it's from Get in
It's
the
from
Trunk.
Get in the Trunk. We all have fake
Yeah.
cigarettes on Get in the
Oh.
Trunk, and we constantly smoke them on camera.
I've never seen it in person, only on
It's
stream.
really
Yeah.
realistic.
It looks so
It
real
is.
that I am going to buy one of them.
It is. They're great.
That's an amazing
I'll
prop.
send you the link. It's like they're.
God,
they're
we
great.
love hand props. We just
do.
love props.
Best.
It's awesome.
All right, so cards in hand, that's 11.
That is 11.
Okay, and that's my stamina.
Yeah, so while we're talking to everybody else, you should God, start looking at your cards. But
And then-
it's gonna be really hard to translate, but this is why it was great that Josephine sent you that
Cheat sheet.
cheat sheet,
Cheat sheet.
because it'll show you what a lot of the symbols mean, because there's a lot of different conditions and effects that you do with your abilities. You will strengthen people, that's a little fist. You can wound people, you can stun people, all that kind of stuff, and that's all represented by symbols on the card.
So then tell me, Joe, my last question, and we'll move on. I'm sure I'll have many more questions. I pick from my Quattral ancestry cards and from these to make 11
Total.
combined. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Ooh, one of the things about this world is that there's elements infused
Oh,
into
yeah.
everything.
Yes.
Say,
I was wondering.
Say
if that was
more about
yeah.
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there are round symbols on some of the cards, right, that have a little symbol. It's like light, dark, earth, fire,
Wind
ice.
and ice.
Wind and ice. And those affect the land, so you'll have abilities that'll bring up the elemental attribute that's like affecting the land, and everyone, including enemies, can deplete that to power up something. And so it wanes, it goes into...
Like waxes and wanes.
yeah,
I
waxes
think.
and wanes, yeah. And so that's always active on a battlefield, also outside of the battlefield, and can be used for abilities by both enemies and yourself to power up stuff.
And
So it's,
it's
like inert magic that
Yeah.
people can use.
Yeah.
Yeah, the world is, as Josephine said, it's so infused with elemental power that the actions you do will generate little pockets of that element for a moment nearby, and then other people can grab it, absorb it, and use it to power abilities. So it's a really fun way to synergize PCs together. So you can be like, I'll create wind, and then you use the wind to do this. Or you can create dark and be like, I don't really want to, but I really want to do this cool ability because I know the enemy can then use that against me. But it's a give and take in terms of the strategy, which is really fun.
That is really cool. And where is that on the cards, Josephine?
They don't always have them.
Oh, okay. So it
Some
depends.
abilities.
I believe.
If you ever see a little leaf, that means it's creating
or
earth
a little
element.
lightning bolt.
Yeah.
No, that's
Nope,
a stun
that's something else.
condition.
That's something else.
What about this one that looks like
Come back
like
to
an
me.
eclipse?
Come back to me.
Yeah.
I have so many cards.
Just bring up the cheat sheet.
Yeah.
All the symbols are on the cheat
So
sheet.
when you pick your deck, like at the
Can't
It's
look
so
at
amazing.
you. No, do it again. It's really good.
so when you pick your deck at the beginning,
Oh my god.
so that's your deck. Like you can't like swap out cards unless you're like leveling up or something, right?
I don't know the rules for that yet. I would say you could swap out cards every day. That's the rule. I would do.
from your full deck.
Yeah.
that
Oh
you
yeah,
get?
yeah. You can choose your
Build your deck
You can
each
build
day.
your deck.
Oh, okay. That's great.
That's like it's like preparing your
Yeah.
spells.
Preparing your spells.
You build up your deck each day, yeah, and then you. The other big thing about combat is that you always have, you have your deck, but it's actually an open hand when you're in combat. Like you can see all of your cards to choose from.
Like you choose what
It's
you
not. It's not drawing.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Okay.
You have your full hand in front of you, and you'll choose. To.
Okay.
When you're not in combat, you have your deck face down, and you randomly discard cards to do skill checks, active skill checks.
So you might get into combat.
And be missing. Yeah. But
I got into a combat yesterday when I was down to only 2 cards left in my deck. I had a discard pile, so I was like, do I rest before the combat or do I rest after do I rest in the first round of a combat? And the difference is that the earlier you rest, the shorter your total day will be.
Right.
So if you can use those 2 cards first, you get a little bit more time, before you have to be totally spent. But anyway, Paula, class, big choice here. I mean, hold on, they say it right here. I mean, I think right at the top of
Why are you putting pressure on me?
of the class section. Yeah, I want you because I know how you struggle
I
with
was
analysis
saying,
paralysis.
You know I can't make decisions.
And I just, I want to put you on the spot. Choosing a class may be the most important decision you make. That is the first line of the
No
class
pressure
section.
though. So
What are you thinking?
Well, my original idea was a tinkerer because I like the idea of being like a bit mad scientist-y, and maybe I'm trying to create a weapon of mass destruction or something, and that's why I'm in jail.
Okay.
That's so Skaven.
So I think I might go with that. I for a hot second considered sorry, I keep hitting my microphone, everyone. The plague
Plague
Herald.
Plague Herald. That's it.
Because that also sounded fun and like a rat-like thing to do, spread plague, even though I think that's not how anyway, who knows, history. Yeah, I think I'm going to be the tinkerer.
Okay.
I'm going to be a vermling tinkerer, and I'm going to have like goggles. I'm going to look like that. Yeah.
It's going to look like Dr. Frisk.
Yes.
Dr. Frisk. And then Tinker cards for you. Here is the Tinker starting deck. And you already have your Ancestry cards.
Thank you.
All right, let's look through Tinker for what you get. All right, so remember, all 5 of your abilities are going to start at 1. That's right, Joe? You didn't. Yeah, that's for
I
you.
don't know. Are you really not going to?
I'm not going to drink it. It's for you. You did not do character creation, right, when you ran this?
I didn't know I did pre-gen. So.
Okay. All right.
All you.
I love doing character creation. I'm like, we got to do this.
Yeah.
All right, let's 1 in everything. Then, as a tinkerer, you will get a +1 to finesse. So your finesse will start at 2.
Because we are dripping in finesse. So that's a 2. That's a 2.
That's a 2. And
That's
then,
our song.
And then a +2.
I guess.
+2 to knowledge. So you'll start with
so
a 3
knowledgeable.
in knowledge. Okay. Your maximum hit points are 8.
Oh yeah.
And your maximum stamina is 12. So you get a 12 card hand.
How much was Sid's? What'd you get?
11.
11.
It's
Oh,
not
great.
bad. I feel like, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
Like I
that's fine.
said, it's a roughly 9 to 14, somewhere in that range.
Okay.
Okay, then yeah,
The
that's
size of decks.
It's all about the size of your deck.
Yep.
Play a tinkerer if you like adventuring with a myriad of crafted gadgets and tools, from healing potions for your allies to explosive traps for your enemies.
I'll be doing a lot of exploding. Thank you.
Yeah.
How much healing I'll be doing, but I will be blowing you all up.
Well, I
That's
guess
beautiful.
this is a good question to ask too as we build our decks. Like, we want to make sure that our bases are covered like a party would be. So if you're
Yeah.
not a healer, if you're like a tinkerer and you're damage dealing, someone should be a healer.
Yeah, I got you.
You want to be the healer.
Sunkeeper.
Okay,
that's
I don't
what
know.
that is?
A Sunkeeper's like a healer?
Yeah,
Like a cleric?
Support class.
Oh, great.
So then,
I think we got the makings of a strong group here.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think we'll ever die.
Yeah.
I don't think ever.
Not even God himself could
Yeah.
kill us.
May God strike me down now.
Yeah.
I am God.
I am God.
That's right.
So then,
You say I have a God complex? I am God.
so then when I build my deck, Josephine, am I going then for like a true buff class to like give you guys more movement, to give you guys more?
You look into your heart and you
It's so
choose
cold
what
and dark
moves.
in
Okay.
there.
Well then,
I want to get back out.
screw all of us.
I don't want
you
to
know?
look.
Well, I don't like.
Do whatever
I don't
you
like
want.
being
You
here by
choose what you
myself.
want to choose.
Okay.
So let me give you a little brief story from my demo yesterday that'll give you an idea of how these things can synergize. I told you I was a Quattro Berserker. The Berserker class is not just a variation of the Bruiser. The difference of the Berserker is that you get more powerful and deal more damage and move farther and faster the lower your hit points are. So you hurt yourself in order to do more damage.
Wow.
That's not
You
healthy.
want to take damage.
it's not.
And then, so what I was doing is I was taking damage, get a big hit in, and then the Sunkeeper would be like wham, and I'd be like back up another 5 hit points or
Yeah.
something, and then I'd go down again, get a big damage boost, and then get healed back up again. It was a really fun ping pong.
I guess what might be useful is if you see a lot of specific elements in your cards that you're looking at to let each other know, because maybe we can
Yeah.
again help
Synergize
buff
with
each
the-
other. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I use a lot of light and possibly fire.
Yeah, so if it's just another really fun part of character creation and deck building, because you kind of want to do it as a team. You want to say, like, are you going to bring out your sun spell today? Like, yeah,
Right.
I'll put that in there. All right, then I will bring my sun, my light creating element, power, etc. So really fun, kind of tactical conversations you can have heading into the
Yeah.
preparation for a day. Okay, so something I didn't mention to you, Sydney or Paula, yet is you will get skills. There are 5 underneath each class. You will not get all 5. You'll have to choose a limited amount, and I'll come back to that later. But start reading through them on the playtest sheet that we have, so
I
that
see.
you can start to get a sense of when you see a word in brackets. We were really just dealing with a playtest document. When you see a word in brackets, that means it's a symbol on the actual end book.
Okay.
And so the symbol means lost. Like under the Tinker, it says build contraption, lost. And that basically means in order to do that skill, you're going to have to lose a card.
Got it.
Which is a little card with an X on it on the cards.
And you get that back after a full
rest.
Night's rest.
Okay. And a discarded card.
The X on the card
The X
is going
gonna
to give it to you. Holy crap, one of your skills is flamethrower.
Whoa, what? You built a
I'm
flamethrower?
I'm jumping ahead. Josephine, you have already chosen Sunkeeper.
Am I allowed?
Talk to us about the Sunkeeper. We said a healer, but there's a lot more to it than
Oh,
that. Why don't
yeah,
you
let
talk
me
about the Sunkeeper?
pull it up. The Sunkeeper. These armored warriors of light channel their own inner powers to bring healing and peace to the torn landscapes of Caskia. They are a force of righteousness in the world, although the true strength of the Sunkeepers lies in their connection to ancient demonic powers, which the original Sunkeepers learned how to control and maintain. Which I love that this, like, the healing clerical, like,
Yeah, but brought
not clerical, but you know what I mean?
but
Clerical, boring.
but granted by
Ancient
infernal
demonic
powers.
powers,
rather
yes.
than like
That
divine
is
powers.
really cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Is this in the board game too? The Sunkeeper?
I don't know.
Is it an
I think so.
advanced class or something?
It's definitely an advanced class.
Yeah,
I think
'cause
it's.
I never heard. I don't think I heard of it.
And yeah, another thing to point out is there is no connection, in my mind at least, to good aligning with light and bad aligning with
yeah.
Darkness.
So it doesn't work that way. Like there
Right.
are enemies in the board game that are so devastating, and they're demons, and their powers come from the light. Like they will draw light to do these horrible spells on you, and vice versa. Like darkness is an element that is used like when you go invisible, or you can use it to become invisible and stuff like that. Like, you're not necessarily always doing some sort of dark blood power just because it's dark, the dark symbol for the dark element. So that's fun, and that the Sunkeeper has a demonic sort of heritage.
That's so cool.
All right.
And it synergizes with your
with
ancestry
the Valrath,
too.
yeah.
That's really cool.
Oh, Valrath Sunkeeper. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
That was the artwork that you showed us.
And
All right.
so I'll get a +1 to athletics. Is that what it?
That's correct. +1 to athletics, +2 to influence.
Yeah.
So this is going to be your face, right? So not only a healer, but also
Party
face.
I'll talk to people. I'll charm them. I'll show them a little demonic side of me.
Yeah, that's right.
Soothsinger. Wait, did you also buff influence?
My influence is
that would make sense.
2.
It's a +1 to influence, but a +2 to finesse. So that's interesting. A dexterous bard. Okay. We'll get back to your skills later, Josephine. So start thinking about those. Skid, talk to me about your class.
I'm gonna be a bruiser.
Bruiser. All right. Classic. The Inox Bruiser.
Sometimes brute strength is required to get the job done. Someone to
need mine.
stand tall and physically push back against their foes. It doesn't require much intelligence, just the ability to take a hit and give one better. These are bruisers.
Will you narrate a book for me to listen to?
Sure.
Great, just for me.
Send
not
me a book, I'll send you back an MP3.
Perfect, thank you very much.
The Bruiser, excellent choice, Skid. That's gonna be your frontliner. You're gonna have somebody that can mash and that can also eat damage. That can also take damage.
I'm gonna eat everything.
Classically, the Bruiser was not the class that you relied on for damage dealing. As
Right,
much as
it's more of a tank.
It's more
like
of a tank. Their cards will give them shield powers to give them DR, essentially, damage reduction. There are powers that will draw enemies to them and make them fight them and stuff like that, as opposed to your weaker allies. So it's a very cool class. The Bruiser, and let's go through these abilities. Attribute boosts. Okay, so remember, Skid, everything starts at 1. Then you're going to get a +2 to athletics.
Okay.
And
so it's a total of 3, or
total
it's
of
just
3.
Great.
And a +1 to focus.
Okay, great.
Okay. Your maximum hit points are 10.
Yeah.
And your maximum stamina is 10. So 10 card hand.
Okay.
We didn't do Sunkeeper. That's my fault. What is your maximum hit points?
10.
Also 10.
Wow.
Awesome.
Pretty beefy.
Yeah. And then what about your stamina?
Stamina, I believe it was 11.
Yes, it is 11. So, all right, so just one more time, let's go down the line with your class and ancestry, just so I can get it in my mind again and remind the audience. Sydney.
Yeah. What?
Class and ancestry. You are a...
I am a quattro... I am like so into these cards. There's so many cool things, and I'm reading all of them. I am a quattro soothsinger.
Quattro soothsinger.
A vermling tinkerer.
A vermling tinkerer.
A Valrath Sunkeeper.
Okay.
Inox Bruiser.
Played by Jason Charles Miller.
Played by Jason Charles Miller.
I am so thrilled.
I am Jason Charles Miller.
I think that you guys have done a fantastic job just like making a kind of diversified party in terms of your skills.
That's what
you're
really
not
does
that skills
seem
really
like-
naturally.
Yeah, I think this is a good party makeup, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So your major boost was athletics,
Right.
Skid. Josephine, your major boost was
Influence.
Your major boost was knowledge, and your major boost was finesse.
Finesse.
So 4 of the 5 you guys have spread out amongst each other, which is
We didn't
fantastic.
even plan that.
Yeah.
We're just all naturally, I think we are just like meant to work together, I
Yeah.
think. We're meant to be an adventuring party.
Fantastic
Oh.
work. Fantastic work.
Sure.
Sure.
You know what, Skid? I have had just about enough of your sass.
I didn't say anything.
Okay. All right, I just want to mention real quick, as we're highlighting all the different options in this game, a few more classes. I'm not going to go into their details at all. All I need to give you is the titles. They're so cool. You could be a Blade Swarm. You could be a Craghart. You could be a Dooms.
Craig Hartman. Old
Yeah.
Craig Hartman.
Greg Hartman.
Yeah.
You could be an Elementalist, a Doomstalker, a Mind Thief, a Plague Herald, Sawbones, a Scoundrel. You got the plague, motherfucker! You got the plague, motherfucker! A Spellweaver. And what a great one to end on. A Wild Fury.
What is a Wild
Yeah.
Fury?
Play the Wild Fury if you want to adventure with the aid of a powerful animal ally, supporting their physical might with flexible support abilities and other summoned creatures.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Kind of like a summoner,
Yeah.
maybe.
Or like Mary Lou with her polar bear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Raga.
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 Raga bad daughter. Okay. Now we are on to step 3 of character creation. Here we go, guys. Now we're going to start making your character a little bit more specific into who they are. Every character has 5 attributes: athletics, finesse, focus, intelligence, knowledge. Each attribute features a numerical score between 0 and 3 at level 1. At level 1, all of your attributes start with a score of 1. Then you apply the bonuses provided by your class, which we've already done. Next, you may add 1 to 2 scores or 2 to 1 score, so long as no score goes above 3. Lastly, you must reduce 1 other attribute to 0.
Wait,
Wait,
okay,
what?
hold on. Can you read that again?
Wait.
You may add 1 to 2 skills or 2 to 1 skill, but nothing can go over 3.
Oh, okay.
But you have to reduce another one to 0?
And then you must reduce 1 to 0.
Can I not do that and just leave them all as they are, or this is the next step?
No, this is what you must do.
All right, I was just.
I don't want to do that.
I was
I don't
just
want
checking.
to
Okay,
Zero,
should
I
we
wanna
make
do
sure? Should we make sure we don't all have 0 in the same thing?
Yes.
What is the
Yes.
one thing that none of you have as your focus? None of you have focus as your primary
I was gonna
ability.
put points into focus and go 0 on athletics, though, because I don't. Well,
Okay.
would that be bad?
No, I mean, I can cover that stuff.
Forgive me if you've literally just said this. I've been thinking about my deck. But what kinds of things are we using these different skills for? Did you already say, like, knowledge is going to cover this kind of check,
Yeah.
and focus is going to cover this? You're
I
going to use
didn't.
your
I didn't.
focus
The way
to do
that I
this
can
sort of thing.
the ways I can summarize it, focus is anything from perception to like will saves. Is like a
Right.
good way to think about it. Like sometimes you might have to do, pardon me, a focus check to not have something bad, like to not be tricked or deceived or be drawn off onto something.
feel like
Or
as a-
you can use a focus check just to spot hidden, to use a Call
Right.
of Cthulhu term.
Okay,
As a crafty tinkerer, maybe I should put some points into focus. Like, does
That
that make
seems-
sense
yeah,
from a
I'm
character
going
standpoint?
0 on focus.
I might just
Okay.
dump my 2
I would
into
think
focus.
for you, like focus and maybe.
Wait, you have
finesse.
2 in focus, and you're gonna.
Oh.
No,
dump
I
them.
don't. But you can either
Oh,
do 1,
yeah.
1 and 1, or 2 into 1. So I
Oh,
could
yes,
just put the 2 into focus.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put
lose-
mine into knowledge
Oh, good idea.
because
Okay.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Influence kind of like how
Charisma, right?
charismatic you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, that's going 0 for me. I
Okay.
don't think I'm charismatic at all.
Wow. Wait, Paula, for real?
Yeah.
It just seems so unlike you.
I'm such a talented and versatile.
Oh, my
A talented and versatile actor.
I'm trying to stretch myself a little.
Yeah, I mean, you should
love
never
it.
doubt perfect Paula.
That's
Yeah.
No,
She'll
doubts.
always-
Just shock.
Because I'm gonna be like a creepy little, like, ooh,
Yay.
blow things up.
See, that sounds super charming, though.
Yeah, I already like
you're
it.
doing
I
it.
already like
Like
your
I like
Gremlin.
this. I like this person already.
I once got a note. This is such a side story. I once got a note in a play I was doing where I was playing a child, and they were like, the director one day went, you know, you don't have to try to make her cute. You just kind of are. And I was like, I wasn't trying.
Wow. Wow.
I didn't know I was doing that.
Perfect Paula.
Perfect Paula.
You weren't even trying.
I wasn't
even
even
trying.
trying.
Oh.
All right. I am dumping athletics, and I put 2 into focus. So I have 3 in focus,
Oh, nice.
3 in finesse, and 2 in influence. I feel like you're taking on knowledge, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a balance, and at least Paula and I can then both, do checks
Yeah.
with focus that would benefit
Yeah.
us. Skid, I assume you're doing athletics.
I can't because it's already. At
Oh, you already have
3.
3. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, so what are you gonna do?
I think I'm gonna dump finesse
Okay.
Like be a
Yeah,
true brute.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then maybe put one in focus and one in influence.
Okay. Yeah.
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 That's interesting.
Yeah.
I like because that's like you could be intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
influence.
that's
Yeah,
what
I
I'm,
like that.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Okay. This is awesome because now we're really going to start talking about personality because we're going to get into backgrounds. Gloomhaven is famous for its tactics. It's famous for how much it makes you think about your cards and how you build your deck and how you play your rounds and how every round counts and every move matters, and with little margin for error. So constructing your background is something that has been introduced to the RPG. Also, as everything in Gloomhaven, through cards. So there are background cards. We've got a bunch of them here. I urge you to go to the document to look at them all in a list on page 22. Construct your background. All characters have a past beyond their ancestry, which can often be complex, but those backgrounds provide lessons or situations that can shape your present. So you will choose 4 background traits that when put together, form a picture of who you are as a character, where you came from, and how you behave in both non-combat and in combat. Those powers, such as born on a cloudless noon is one of them, for example. Backgrounds give you a buff or a boost that you can use once per day. So you use it to modify a check or a roll. It can be in combat, it can be non-combat, depending on the background. This one, for example, born on a cloudless noon, will give you a +1 to a check and will create light. Or alternately, you could use it. If you see this symbol, Sydney, it is the light with the little X. Alternately, you could spend light if the element has been generated to get a +3 to a check, to one check. And then that background would be spent for the day.
Cool.
So start looking through backgrounds and let me know what jumps out at you, and I can just literally pass you cards. Everybody is going to get 4 from this list.
I would definitely like to take Protector.
We get 4?
You get 4.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
When
And-
an
and
ally
these-
suffers damage, reduce the damage by 2. Then add +1 rolling card to the top of the deck.
Then place this card on top of your modifier draw pile for the following effect. I don't remember what that symbol is.
Let me see.
Josephine, could you translate?
Oh, I don't know that I know what that symbol is.
It should be on your cheat sheet. I've seen it a bunch of times.
Have you? Okay.
Sorry, while you're looking at
It's-
that, I just have to read out loud this good listener background.
Oh wait, I was just looking at
Oh
that.
my gosh.
How fun.
Gain a +2 bonus on an attribute check if you can repeat the last thing that one of your allies said before making this check.
Wow.
None of us would be able. You think we?
None of us would ever be able to.
You think we're going to be able to use that one? I actually thought about using that though. It's like a soothsayer, you know, like
Oh, actually, yeah.
Oh,
that's-
which I thought was really
I like
fun.
that,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm trying to keep these like true to my character background or my character class, I should say.
No, I don't know what it means. I'm sorry. I would assume it means that you can flip over another card if it's going on top of your modifier deck. Like, do you get an extra? Do you get a +1 to the card you draw after this? If it's
yeah,
the modifier,
maybe.
right?
Yeah. Place this card on top of your modifier draw pile.
Yeah, so basically...
So I get +1 to whatever the number
your
is.
next
that I
check,
Yeah,
got.
that
you know, is
seems
going to be
that
a
makes
+1.
sense, right?
Great.
But
Okay.
I can't remember what that symbol means, but we'll look it up.
Yeah.
Good listener, by the way, from the prototype. I've got 2 of them, 2 copies. So if
Oh.
anybody else also wants to take good listener,
I think I am
you
going to
may.
take that one.
Okay. So we'll pass that to Sydney's character, the
Thank you.
Quattral Soothsinger. Awesome. Okay. Anybody else have one that jumps out at them among
I
the
was
backgrounds?
thinking it might be fun to do friendly rivalry. Choose
Yeah.
a rival from among your allies when you take this background. When you make an attribute check using an attribute your rival just tested, gain a +3 bonus to that check. If you don't, though, I didn't read this bit. If you didn't get a better result, add 1 curse to your modifier deck.
So a curse is a temporary fumble that's in your deck, in your modifier deck. When it comes up, you then toss it out, and
Yeah,
it's gone.
one and done.
But one time, you could get and there's an extra fumble.
An
in your
extra
deck.
fumble.
Yeah,
could
and
be-
there's a limited amount that can be in any of our decks at any time. There's only like 10 total, so like we'll never ever have more than like, I don't know, 3. Like we could never have 3 in each of our decks or something like that. There's only 10 at a time, which
But-
is nice.
I was thinking it might be fun just because we both were like, oh, we're going to kind of be the focus people. Maybe we've got a friendly rivalry of like, who can notice what first? Or who
Oh,
can,
that's
you
fun.
know,
Yeah,
or you
that's
notice,
cool.
no, maybe I can notice it then. You
Oh, I
know,
like
that.
that.
might be
Yeah.
Might be
Okay.
cute.
fun thing.
Friendly rivalry.
That's very fun.
cool. I
Awesome.
love that. Josephine, you haven't picked one yet.
Yeah, well, I think I'm gonna do that. Born on a Cloudless Noon.
Yeah.
Yeah. +1 bonus on an attribute check with light.
And then consume light to do
Oh,
a
I can
plus
just
3.
get +1 light or consume.
Or consume light for a plus 3 to a check. This is +1 to your check, and you
Ah.
create light.
Nice. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Perfect.
Okay. Anybody else?
Oh, we're getting 4. Oh, my
yeah, we
God.
get 4.
Oh, my God.
I have another one.
Yeah.
Strength Trainer. You gain a bonus to an attribute check equal to your athletics divided by 2, round up. You show off your muscles before or while making the check.
I can do that.
I actually don't have a card for that, but that's fine. You can still take it because it's easy to use even
Yes.
without the
Yeah.
physical card.
Yeah.
So just jot that down.
Okay.
Okay. Sydney, got a second one?
Yeah, I'm gonna choose Weird Trick.
Ooh.
And Weird Trick says, choose one weird trick you know when you create your character. You gain a bonus to an attribute check equal to your finesse, divided by 2 round up if you incorporate the weird trick into the task. Is this helpful at level 1 though? Like 3 divided by 2 round up? Like, is it actually a boon to me?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a +2.
It's a +2.
Okay.
Which is a lot in this
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Okay,
Here you go.
thank you.
Oh, yeah. So our attributes can go higher than 3 as we level up?
Yes.
then?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
great.
yeah.
Awesome.
I've got one.
Okay.
Yes.
I think, where to go? Optimist. When aiding an ally, the ally's check is made with advantage. If one card is at least 2 higher than the other, the check becomes a crit.
Ooh.
Otherwise, it is a fumble.
Okay.
But you know, I'm an optimist, so it'll probably go well.
yeah.
Perfect. I think Optimist is a great background to just choose, just word only for
Yeah.
to play a character. Because
Yeah.
having an Optimist in the party always brings up energy. Troy looks like he's
He looks very well.
He might not-
Speaking of energy,
I didn't
Yeah.
even see him. Oh
He
God,
looks like a husk.
looks like a ghost.
He is
Because
like
you've
a
had
ghost
to-
that's haunting Gen Con.
Bye, Troy.
You've had to block out all of the people who just come and like press themselves literally against the glass,
Or
like just
parts of
happened.
themselves.
Yeah.
To distract you. So you've blocked it out. So
Yeah, we
you
have the
just assumed
wide
Troy
the
was
wide
that.
cam on so you could see, but we are, if you forget, in a glass box.
We
so
are. We're in an aquarium.
We see everything. Hi.
Hi. Can I be an imposter?
Oh.
Sure.
When making an attribute check, instead of drawing from the modifier deck, use a single card of your choice from your modifier deck discard pile.
Whoa, that's
whoa,
great.
That's cool. That's great.
That's great. So if you've pulled your +2 and it's just sitting in your,
You can take it
I
back.
can use it again.
that's awesome.
also, did
really
you
good.
describe how these work, like in gameplay?
I think I did, but
Do they? Or you like tap them?
I did.
Oh, you do?
I thought that it's done for the day, isn't it?
Well,
They
you
come back
tap
after a rest?
them. I think those come back after when you catch your breath.
A
I think
short rest?
The untap, but some of them make you lose a stamina card
I
or make
just
you
read
discard
that.
a stamina
Yeah.
card.
So unless they say, discard, you tap them and
They-
then they can come back.
yeah, the background skill. Yeah,
Cool.
I believe.
Oh,
are
is that what this
tappable.
means then? That symbol? Is that tapping it?
No, because
yes.
then they don't have that, right? Oh, is it?
That's what it is. I
It
think.
is?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that is what it is.
Look,
Wait, but then if it doesn't have a thing,
Yeah.
then
No,
do we not?
I mean, no. All of the background skills get tapped when they get used.
okay,
Oh.
okay.
Like that's just kind of one of the.
That is good to know.
I had the benefit of using a virtual tool set that just did it,
Yeah.
which
right.
is why I remember that. But about when they come back is where I need to double check. But I think when you take a breath. But
That would be very cool because some of these are,
we'll find out by the time we
Yeah, by the time
Play.
end up needing them back.
yeah.
But in the meantime, yeah, they get tapped once you use them, and some of them have an extra cost of losing a stamina card or
All right,
whatever
cool.
else.
Everybody's at 2 now, right? Let's keep cooking here.
Okay.
I'm gonna do loving family as my third. When aiding an ally with an attribute check, you grant that ally advantage.
Stolen. I was going to take it.
Stolen. Sorry.
You can both take it.
We can't both be loving.
You're an optimist, and I'm very loving. It's just our
very
party.
Sweet. This is very sweet.
Our party is so
I
cute.
got something.
Oh, we both get it.
Wait, we're both taking loving family.
Oh, cool.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, I think we could use a few more loving families in RPGs.
In our games.
Like
Yeah.
fantasy RPGs.
Yeah.
Adventurers are always like, I hate everyone.
Yeah.
My parents are dead.
This is a fantasy world. I want to have fun and be loved.
So that's the fun thing about like Blood of the Wild is like that's pretty
Yes.
much what we
Oh,
are.
yeah?
So
That's why
one of the
that's
things
why I
love
love
about that
listening.
game.
Yeah.
Are
I
you
love
backing
listening.
the Glass Cannon Patreon at the $10 level?
You
If
too
not,
can listen
you
to the
should,
show.
Because you
Listen.
can listen to, I'll say it, no offense to anyone sitting here, the best show on the
The
network.
best show in America.
in America.
Excuse me, Skid. In the world, I would
No.
say.
No, just
No,
America.
America.
not good.
Okay.
A lot of really good shows coming out of Spain.
Yeah, that's true.
We get to claim UK with Haunted City because Babu, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yes.
Yes.
That's true.
I'm kind of interested in collector, but I don't really understand what this. Okay, choose what you collect when you create your character. You grant a cumulative +1 to the attribute check for every other background and modifier card applied to this check. You gain a cumulative +1 to the attribute check for every other background and modifier card applied to this check.
Oh, so you can apply multiple.
Yeah, so if you can apply multiple to a check, and if you do, this boosts it
interesting.
further.
Oh, and that's just when it says this check, it's the check. I'm for this check, I'm activating my collector skill, which is going to give me a +1 because I'm also activating my friendly rivalry or something like that.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
I mean, you always have the modifier there, always. So you're gonna have a minimum. You're gonna have a minimum +1.
Cool. That sounds good. I'm laughing at Josephine.
What did she do now?
She just was looking at me and like she had something to say, and so I looked at her, and then she just went. I can't even do it. I was like,
What did she do?
okay.
So she made you feel really good about your choice, is what you're saying.
I think it's a good choice because you get a +1 no matter what.
If I ever do that, it's because I've like phased out of existence for a second. And I was just looking this way, but not.
Cool. Good.
Nothing was going in.
Yeah. No input
There was
accepted.
Can we write on these, Joe? Or are these returning to someone?
They are returning.
So
To
don't
Okay,
write.
so we
they have
should write
slots
them
on
down.
I would
Okay.
ask you to not write on them. You can write on the
knows?
character sheets.
So I have to choose what I collect.
I wrote it down with my background cards. I just wrote it down there.
Okay. Great.
Okay, I've got one.
Got one? Go.
Yeah, who wants to have an intense shared interest in architecture with me?
Architecture.
Someone has to for this.
Skid?
Yeah. Yes, I do. Oh man, I love architecture. you in architecture?
I love architecture.
Oh my god.
That's your character.
Oh my god. This
Oh
is
yeah,
incredible.
yeah.
Whoa. I love both of you.
I am impressed.
I want to know
All right.
how everything was built, specifically jails.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
I get it now.
I think you mean
So
Okay, so
I mean,
explain-
goals.
explain
Intense
this.
shared
Goals.
interest. Choose an interest and an ally when you choose this background. Use this card on an attribute check that relates to your shared interest and is aided or performed by your chosen ally. That attribute check gains a +3 bonus.
Man, that's great.
That's a huge bonus.
That's really
Not that I picked this specifically for
That
the
is
scenario.
awesome.
That
that's
we're about to
that's actually like good forward-thinking strategy, which we're not used to dealing with.
Now I have a question,
Yes.
and this is related to the elements. So Joe, Josephine, Paula, please tell me. On the wild card background, it says gain a +1 bonus on an attribute check in brackets any element, which I'm assuming it refers to the listed elements. If you do something unexpected, so I get a +1.
Yeah.
Oh,
But what do I choose an element?
Yes.
an element goes up. An element
you
of your choice
choose
goes up.
any element to create.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
That's
I
cool.
want to
It's
do that.
literally a wild card.
I love it.
Like, but then as a person, you're a wild card.
Yeah.
You do wacky things.
I
or
love it.
something unexpected. Yeah.
So this could be a boon for us then if there's an element that would work for your cards.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And
cool.
You could just do it at any point during the day and then give that element to your ally at the right moment. I mean, it's so fun.
Cool, I
But
love
you would
that.
have to do something unexpected.
Oh, don't worry about that.
I wonder if she'll be able to manage that.
What did I say? Joe and I were cracking up in Skid in Legacy, where
Would a crazy person do this?
my character's insane, and I said something like, "Would a crazy person do this?" And then I like cartwheeled across the room in the middle of the play, and Joe was like, "Yes, that is what a crazy person would do." So I can't help it. I play a wild card.
That was so funny. That was so funny.
Get ready for more cartwheels.
Oh my god!
All right.
Love it.
Who needs what? Skid, I don't have a card for you for shared interest, so just jot it down.
So I do.
No,
I do
don't
get
think-
that too. Or
I don't think we both have to take it. We just have that shared interest.
Yeah.
It's when,
so she gets
it's
the
when I'm
bonus.
aided in performing that attribute check.
Oh, got it. Okay,
Ah,
cool.
cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I do have another one though.
Yes.
I will take.
From the frozen wastes,
Awesome.
gain a +1 bonus on an attribute check and ice, or use ice and gain a +3 bonus on the attribute check.
Yeah, so these you'll see are all kind of mechanically similar. For Josephine's character, it was born under the noon sun or something.
Yeah, born on a cloudless noon.
Born on a cloudless noon. Then there's from the frozen wastes. Skid. I've got a better one. Give that one to Skid. The other one was literally handwritten.
Yeah.
Gotta love prototypes.
Who did this?
From the red desert, it does the same thing. +1 creates fire or spend fire for +3. From the stormy seas, create wind or spend wind for +3. So yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cool. This is taking shape, man. I'm picturing this right now. This is awesome.
And I also love the idea that he's like a northern ice Inox.
Exactly.
Like, that's
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
Very
man.
cool. Paula, I see an
fire
empty
and ice
slot.
over here.
I see an empty slot.
I think I have had a formal education, and I will be mentioning it anytime I can. And that is going to give me a bonus to my attribute check equal to my knowledge divided by 2, rounded up, if I mention my education before or while making the check, and I will be doing that.
Yeah, not adorable at all.
No.
But
You don't have
what a
to try,
hateable
Paula.
character.
It's not adorable. I am tough and fierce. I will blow you up. And this is the only time I'm gonna be able to do the voice like this because I won't be a horse again.
Let me pick you
No,
up.
don't touch me. I hate being picked up. Why does everyone always want to pick me up?
Oh my god.
I don't want to be picked up. I want to touch me.
I want to throw you in the air and catch you again. You're so
No.
cute. Oh.
Amazing.
Oh
I'm
my god.
not a baby.
Okay, what was that? I didn't catch the actual title of the background.
Formal education.
Formal education.
Formal education.
I love too where it's like you mention your formal, like you're like, I went to Harvard, and then you like get a plus.
Yeah.
I went to the
It's like what Troy
Academy
does
of
with
Gloom.
Columbia.
Academy
Yes,
of Bloom.
exactly. All right, Paula's character is 4 backgrounds finished. What about
I'm
Sydney?
fully formed.
I'm 4-2. Weird trick, good listener, loving family, wild card.
Yep.
Oh, awesome.
We
Joe,
did it. No.
You're done?
Yeah.
We did it.
All 4?
And Skid, you're done?
I have one. I saved the best for last.
Oh.
Jam band.
You were picking
Yeah.
jam band.
Like a jam
I saw
band.
that.
I
What
thought
is
about
this?
picking that.
Choose up to 4 members of your jam band from among your allies. When you take this
Yes.
background,
Maybe all of us.
Yes.
if at least 2 other band members are performing or adding the attribute check, add a +3 bonus to the attribute check.
Yeah,
I
count-
chose
Yes.
this because, as Jason Charles Miller, I'm Jason Charles Miller, and I am a musician myself. So it only makes sense.
I love
great.
it.
Yeah,
Incredible.
Can I
Jam
have
band.
Can we all be in it?
We're all in
Tinkered
it
you,
because it's
like-
4 of us.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
tinkered you a voice box thing, so you can you do the thing where you like record in, and then you just hit the button, and then it'll like play it back. So you
Auto-tune.
can yeah. I tinkered you auto-tune. Done.
Tinkered you auto-tune.
And that's how I
That's
contribute.
amazing.
I love
Awesome.
this.
Did you like that episode of The Simpsons where we're in the boy band?
But it sounds like this. It'll be like that episode of The Simpsons. We're in the boy band. That's the auto-tune version.
Uncontrollable auto-tune.
Uncontrollable
It's like,
auto-tune.
it sounds terrible. Turn it
It'll be
off.
like that.
It's not even in a key. I don't understand.
What's happening?
Look, not all of my inventions work exactly how I hoped they would, but they all work.
Okay.
Okay.
They all do something.
Okay.
Okay. I'm so sorry about my voice. We are winding down now. Skills. I told you guys to start reading them earlier. This is a really important final choice right before we do inventory, which will be the end of character creation. Skills. You're going to choose 3 skills from those available to you from your level 1 class and ancestry choices. So there were 5 under each class, but I believe there was also 1 under each ancestry. Yes. Each ancestry.
Wait, so how many are we picking total?
3?
3?
No.
Yeah.
3?
You are picking a total of 3, and on your character sheet, they're right here on this side of the sheet, and you will write them down there, and then there's check boxes next to them for letting you know when you've used them. Again, skills, if I'm not mistaken, like once a day. You need a long rest, I think, to use them again.
Yeah, same thing with the tapping.
Yeah, with the tapping. So each ancestry has 1 ancestry skill. You can choose to put that in your list of 3 or not. So basically everybody has access to 6 skills. You need to choose 3 of them that are the ones you're going to use for your character. Sydney, have you been looking these over? Do you have choices? What are you thinking?
I know what I'm picking. I'm not going to pick the ancestry skill. It's like a boon to finesse, and my finesse is pretty good. So instead, I'm going to do all from the Soothsayer, and I chose Disorienting Ditty, bracket discarded. So that's great. I don't lose it. You play a song that confuses up to 10 creatures. They suffer muddle for 1 minute. That feels like pretty powerful.
Muddle is disadvantage.
Yes.
Just so you know, you're going to
For
be
1
discarding
minute.
a stamina card. Like these.
Oh, I don't
the
discard.
discarded. It's not discarding the skill. It's discarding a stamina card.
Good to know. Good to know. Okay, so
It's just using some of your energy, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I like that one. I chose that one, and then I chose, just for the name too, Power Ballad.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You and all allies gain +1 on all attribute checks for the next hour. So that one is, but I lose that card for the day. So that is like
That's an hour out of the day. That
yeah,
we're like,
pretty dang
you
good.
use that every day. Like,
Yeah,
for
I would
sure.
use that every day.
In the zone.
Yeah.
And then tune the outcome. Yeah, that's the last one I chose. Remove all curses from a single ally's modifier deck.
Wow.
Or add 1 bless card to that deck.
Wow.
So
a bless card is a crit.
Is a crit.
That's added to your deck. And when you get it, when you use it, it gets taken out of
The
your
reverse of a curse.
The
and I
reverse of a
know
curse.
Paula had a background that could potentially add a curse, and I thought of that, and I was like, oh, what a perfect thing to throw in
Yeah.
if somebody has it.
I'm a
like, take
fan of what's happening.
Yeah, this is
synergy,
awesome,
the
man.
synergy.
I'm getting really excited.
Me
about
too.
it.
I can't wait to
Like-
play.
This is good.
We're only going to play this once.
I know. Well, I mean, we're really just play testing. We're just going to... Maybe we'll play it more than once. We'll see. Yeah, we certainly, I mean, there's so much looking forward to the finished game, too. Like, all the cards are slicker. And I mean, we're literally working with, like, paper cutouts.
I know.
Yeah.
You
which is-
printed these out at the hotel or something?
No. That's what they gave me.
Oh, they
This
gave
is
you
their
those.
prototype.
They printed them out at the
they
hotel.
did, okay.
Yeah, pretty
Good.
awesome. Okay. Paul.
I have chosen my Vermling skill, Scurry. Travel up to 20 feet instantly, moving through other creatures without penalty.
Ooh, that's good.
Because I like the idea of it. And then 2 from my Tinkerer skill list. I'm just scrolling back down to it. I have Build Contraption. This is lost, but create a small mechanical contraption to perform menial tasks for you. It lasts until you take a full rest, but it does not function in combat.
A little robot.
Little tiny robot.
That's amazing.
To have a little friend.
So, like, you could send to do little odd jobs.
Wait,
and
so how
stuff.
long does it last?
All day.
Until I
Sounds
take a
like-
full rest.
Oh, wow. Okay,
That's
cool.
incredible.
That is
Oh,
so
so then
cool.
like you have to, at the end of the day, like you have to wind it or something.
Yeah. It just goes to bed.
Yeah.
Powering down.
And then I have Flamethrower, which is
Yes.
one of my cards.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
It's on, for anyone who watches me stream video games on Twitch, I like fire attacks and spells.
I'm
and
a big
things,
fire guy,
so,
too.
Yeah, this
I
is
love
on
fire.
brand.
Yeah.
Discarded. Subject. Ooh, careful though. I don't think this character is going to care that much about friendly fire.
Friendly fire.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Subject everything. within 10 feet to extreme heat and flame.
Oh my god.
They
Stay
can either
away.
move away from you or take 3 damage, their choice. Okay, so you aren't automatically
okay.
burned.
Okay,
Okay.
interesting.
Okay.
Wow.
So does
That's
that
really
also
cool.
does that infuse the fire trait to the
It
scene
doesn't
or whatever?
say that it does. Probably because, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't say here
Okay.
that
Yeah,
it
it very well
creates,
may not.
It might.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because it's not the
Because it's like a
elemental
mechanical thing
fire
that I've
she's using.
made.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crafted. It's
So
just
maybe-
it's just gasoline.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just natural gas.
Yeah,
Right?
magical fire's like, pfft, you think you're cool?
Yeah, it's
Nah,
like, yeah.
You're not even magical.
Yeah. Whatever. Jerk.
Josephine has that look on her face again, like she's gonna go, okay.
This apparently happens when I'm talking.
Yeah, that's whatever. Like as Paula keeps going, Josephine just checks out.
I understand it's hard
It's
to bask
day
in
4.
my perfection.
In the morning. It's just so perfect.
How are you so perfect?
I stop hearing you, and all I'm doing is gazing upon
Look,
your perfect.
I get it.
Perfect
I get
Paula.
it. You know how
get it.
often I'm
Perfect
trying
Paula.
to get ready in the morning and really it's just me suddenly looking in the mirror and I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, how long have I been standing here?
Oh
Right?
my god.
You get lost in your own eyes.
Own eyes. I was about to say that.
Your eyes. You know, and yeah, I sing that to myself. I'm
My
sorry, I'm
eyes.
not this horrible, everyone. I'm sorry. These are jokes.
You're
okay.
really selling it today. All right, Josephine.
Okay. I have taken Tactical Order. I discard a stamina card, and I order a single non-hostile creature to complete a simple task for me that takes no more than 1 minute to complete. They happily comply and don't realize that they didn't have a choice but to do it until an hour
I-
later.
It's like the voice,
Love
the
that.
Bene Gesserit voice.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's cool.
That is awesome.
That is
and
very
it works
cool.
really great for a jailbreak.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I took Protective Blessing. I also discarded a stamina card. I can sanctify someone, including myself, so that the next time they take damage, they take 4 less damage.
Ooh.
And then I took Prayer. Discarding a stamina card, I pray for something to happen. It's up to the GM if and how this prayer is answered, and I infuse light.
Oh, that's cool.
Cool.
That's cool.
That's great.
Cool.
Oh, you know how to make these checks that are going to be great for role playing. I'll tell you, that's
Yep.
awesome.
Yep.
All right, Skid, what do you got?
All right. I have 2 chosen, and then I'm torn between 2, so I want to get some.
Let's
input
open it up
on
to the
last
group.
one.
Yeah.
First one is my ancestor ability, Imposing Physicality. Imposing Physicality is something. It's a bonus to like influence. Like if I can show off. Oh no, wait, is that the same thing?
That's like you go up to people and say, welcome to the gun show, and they think it's cool.
I think so. Okay. Imposing Physicality. You gain advantage on an athletics check made to perform a feat of strength or an influence check to intimidate another creature. So I like that
Yeah.
for sure. The second one that I took is Juggernaut.
Oh, that sounds
which
good.
I really like. Reduce any single source of damage to you by 3.
Ooh,
I like
that sounds really good.
And the last one, I'm trying to choose between Epic Kick. You can kick an object so hard that it either breaks it down like a normal door or flies across the room 20 feet if it is a stationary item.
I love that.
I really like
Really
that.
funny.
Or
Provoking Roar. You give a mighty shout that either gets everyone's attention within 50 feet or grants you a +2 bonus while making or aiding an influence check to intimidate a creature.
Oh, that's so tough.
They both,
Isn't it?
They both feel very.
Both
I've been
are
watching.
useful.
I've been watching a lot of anime, and they both feel very anime to me.
Yeah.
I love both of them.
Yeah.
I guess what's your character? Like, how are you feeling with your character? Are they a kick-based fighter,
Don't know.
or are they yelling a lot?
I think.
What would
maybe-
Jason Charles Miller do?
Well, I think Jason Charles Miller, he's not much of a kicker, I think. I think he's more of a yeller. I've seen him yell on stage.
yeah, fair enough.
Me, I've seen myself yell on
Yeah,
stage
wait a
during
second.
one of my many shows. I'm just going to steal his identity.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go on tours.
Great
doing,
show
like,
last
shows.
night.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Great
Oh,
show
yes,
last
thank
night.
you.
set.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, we should make the Gloomhaven character creation graphic for this segment. With your face, and it just says Jason Charles Miller under it.
He's gonna be so
like it was
mad.
like it was a typo.
Because he's like, why am I not in more shows?
Yeah, he's
And
gonna be
now
like-
we're just
I keep asking to be on more shows, and you're stealing my identity. I'm like, having to go on this show. So I'm gonna take Provoking Roar.
Nice.
Yeah.
awesome.
Okay.
Uh,
So the idea, picturing you just kicking something like across the.
I mean, I love that
It is
idea.
so funny.
But
It's
I
so
think
funny.
the roar is gonna be
More useful.
More useful.
Yeah.
For sure. So,
Okay, I am going to skip equipment. This is you are in prison.
Oh.
Yeah, sure.
No,
Oh, okay, sure.
you will choose equipment off air, and we'll
Sure.
figure out how we're going to work it into the story. It's going to be great. But the reason we're not doing it at creation is because I am not really comfortable on the rules. It basically says you start with 60 gold, and you can buy what you want. But the list that comes with the playtest has 168 items
Right. So yeah.
to choose from. So let's take our time with that
Yeah.
and think about how we want to incorporate that into our story. So we're going to wrap up here, and in a couple minutes we're going to be out. But I'm not going to commit anybody to anything because we'll have time before we get together, for the next to actually play this game. But let's just ask a few narrative questions.
Yeah.
Did any of you think about why you were imprisoned during this? Okay, Skid's nodding. Skid, talk to me a little bit about this Inox, why he's imprisoned or they're imprisoned, and give me a name if you have one.
he killed a school.
He killed a school?
Like the
An
building?
adult learning school. Like, he killed everyone in the school.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Why?
Very long story. I can't get into it. But believe me, it was justified.
Oh my God.
Are you a good guy or a bad guy?
Hey, you should have seen the school. This was a terrible school, and they all deserved what they
And
got.
sorry,
I'll
you
tell
said
that
it was a
much.
school for adults?
It was adult learning annex.
Night school?
Well, they were learning how to commit horrible crimes.
Were they learning murder? It was a murder school?
It was a murder school,
And
and
you
I
gave them the ultimate final
yes, I
exam.
just like, oh, you like murder, do you? Well, here you go, and I killed all of them.
Okay, so
Wow.
murder. This Inox Bruiser is in for the worst crime of them all, a multiple homicide.
But yeah,
All right. And do you have a name?
I do have a name. His name is Inox Bronson. Because there weren't many Inox around where he was from,
So they
so
just
he
called
was
him
just
I-
they just called him Inox.
They just called him
my
Inox,
gosh.
so that's
Yeah.
what he still goes by.
Yep,
Okay. Bronson. Love it.
it's like Human McQueen.
Human McQueen. All right, Josephine.
I think I am in jail for healing a bunch of criminals. I think
Oh,
it's like a
that's the
really
worst crime
nice,
of them all.
wonderful thing.
Aiding and abetting.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
aiding and abetting.
abetting.
Aiding and abetting, basically. They went on to murder a whole school.
My God.
Oh my
All right, can
God.
we stop talking about school murder like immediately?
An adult school.
An adult school.
An adult school.
I healed Inox Bronson
Yeah, it was like a
moments before.
It was more of a community center.
So you two were caught, tried, convicted, and jailed for the same crime, essentially.
Essentially, yeah, I got roped in here.
The same
Yeah.
event.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, not just the same crime, the same actual event.
Yes.
She's like one of those doctors, one of those black market doctors.
Yeah, I'll help anyone.
They like work out of a veterinary clinic or
Yeah.
something, and she,
Oh,
passed
and I
me
wonder
up.
if this is how you guys got your shared interest in architecture.
Absolutely.
You were
Yeah.
figuring out how to break down this annex.
Yeah, that's right.
the best possible way for an
The
insertion.
building must go.
All right, I love it. So that means you two are going to know each other prior to this, and
Yeah, that's
have
right.
been allies ever since you even got here.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
I'm going to save Paula for last. I want to see how this vermling fits in at the end. Let's go to our
okay,
Quattro Soothsinger.
Yeah, I think their name is Arpeggio, and
Oh, I love it. It's lovely.
I think they got in a little bit of trouble because they sang a song that was not well loved by some nobles. Mayhaps it was
the fascist regime, like a forbidden song.
Yes, exactly. Actually, that's that's what it is. It was like an old song. It was like an olden day song
That like empowered
that
the poor.
empowers the people.
Yeah.
And I was crushed under the thumb of a fascist king. And they found me. I tried to hide, and they found me, and I was thrown in jail. And I've kind of accepted my fate. I'm not really like a fighter, but I know what's wrong, and I'm for the people, and I wouldn't back down.
That's cool. That's a cool little detail. And then Paula, take it home.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. So,
Pressure's on.
okay. My name is Sprocket.
So
It's like Sprocket, but I say it a little different
Spracket.
because the A feels more like tough. Sprocket.
Spracket.
I said to touch Josephine on the way out.
Bye.
But by just
I love that girl.
she
I know,
really
she's
did
awesome.
not
She's-
like Spracket.
She's crazy.
Yeah, how come every time like Josephine just hates me?
No,
She has
not.
places to be.
Yeah, look, she's
Look at her
running.
go.
Whoa, she sprinted so fast.
It's like I gotta get away from Paula.
Yeah.
Sprocket. And look, maybe I did have that copy of the Gloomhaven version of the Anarchist Cookbook, okay? Maybe I did have that. Maybe I wasn't planning to use it to blow up an adult learning center.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my gosh.
I say school. It was like a school of fish.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Look, I just need to know how the bad guys are going to use these things and how to make my own to combat the bad guys.
I
But not
see.
everyone knows, not everyone believes that, you know, that you might use something evil for good. So they put me in this jail. Maybe they also found a lot of like dangerous contraptions and things, and they thought they used the word terrorism. And I was like, I would never.
Such an ugly word.
It's such an ugly word.
You know, your mindset is so interesting. Has Sprocket seen the movie Oppenheimer? It's a very fascinating look at. Sprocket sounds like a riot
No, but
Yeah.
maybe I should watch it for research.
for inspo.
yeah, inspiration.
So Sprocket's got like slightly singed. I don't know if vermlings have whiskers,
But yours are gone.
but I've got like slightly singed bits in me.
I
Anyway,
love it.
All right,
I like
it's come
that.
together. Sprocket's come together.
Sprocket is coming together. I think that this is awesome. We're gonna wrap it up here. You guys have introduced all four characters. Let's come in close on Josephine. Joe, your thoughts on the character creation system of Gloomhaven?
Josephine.
Oh my god,
You're
that
so
was
funny.
such-
Just that
that
much.
was
Oh
such
my-
a good.
Oh wow, she
joke.
actually came back. She did
Oh my God, Jesus
I
Christ.
thought she left the whole
Left
thing.
for
Come here,
good.
come here. Josephine, we're wrapping up.
Bye.
There you go. That says it all, folks.
Josephine says, "Okay."
I like all of us over here. Okay.
What a great shot.
What a great picture.
What a great picture.
Perfect.
There we go.
All right, guys, thank you so much. Thank you to Sydney and Josephine and Paula and my good buddy Skid for coming together with me and trying out this new game, an RPG unlike anything we've played before. I think you'll agree you've never done a character
No,
creation like
this is. I'm so excited to actually play now.
Yeah,
This is going to be really fun. Thank you, Cephalofair.
Yeah,
Is that-
Cephalofair. Thank you for
Cephalofair.
the sponsorship, and thank you for
Thank you.
working
Thank you.
to port such a great board game into a role-playing experience that is going to allow us to take it out of that scenario environment and bring it into an open-world, social, non-combat, combat mystery, exploration, stealth. All that really fun stuff is going to come into play, and I'm really excited to try it out.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Can't wait
Yep.
to play. I can't wait to play.
Cannot wait.
I drank too much tea, guys.
I get it.
Coming up next, I lost my sheet in the with all these character sheets everywhere. It is going to be
Marvel.
Marvel. The Marvel Multiverse RPG is coming
Yeah.
in next in about 15 minutes or so. We should be live at 12:30 Eastern Time if all goes well with the tech checks. Look for Marvel Multiverse RPG. Skid is going to be there. Sydney's going to be there. We say goodbye now to Paula and Josephine, as much as we hate to. Goodbye, guys. Is this it for you in the booth? Right.
This is it for me. Yeah.
What
yeah.
a wonderful Gen Con. You guys were wonderful
We did.
every
Yeah.
step of the way. Thank you for joining
So
us.
great to see you guys hang out in person.
Yeah.
And play with.
It's so nice.
with
This
both
has
you
been
guys.
this has been such a blast. I
Yeah.
feel so blessed.
It's been
And I
awesome.
already started convincing Troy about plans for next year, so we got some cool stuff coming.
Awesome,
Get
Work it.
ready.
Awesome.
Work it. All right. Bye,
Bye, guys.
everybody. We'll see you in about 15 with Marvel Multiverse RPG.
Bye.
Bye.